Are you watching my stream, by the way?
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm a Lego guy?
You do look a little bit like a Lego guy, yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. How are you doing?
Pretty good, how about you?
I'm good. You ready to talk about some tier sets?
Yeah, I got 3.5 hours till raid, so.
Oh, perfect. I have 3.5 hours until I have to go to dinner, so.
All right, this works out nicely.
Yeah, we should be able to get through all of this. Well, my first thing before we really talk to anyone is what's your opinion of this in general? I kind of just went over it a little bit, but like a pretty big departure of what they're doing from before. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I haven't been watching your stream or anything, so I don't know if this take is the same as yours, but I understand why they're doing this rather than like giving us all of them. I hope that it means they actually will like really do some heavy rebalancing work to like all of the specs that do get chosen, because I think that's the big justification to not just let us choose, is that they'd have to rework, 3 times as much set bonuses. So as long as they do that, I'm reasonably happy with this. I've kind of looked through some of the votes so far, and mostly good ones are winning as far as I can see. So
yeah, I was actually concerned about that because, like, let's just use made-up numbers here. Let's say there are 50,000 people who play WoW, and an equal amount of people play every spec. So 38 specs, a little bit more than 1,000 people play each spec in the game. If you have, let's say, like 1,300 people for each spec vote in the best interest of that spec, and let's say their votes are split a little bit, but whatever, like they're generally going to go for the one that they all think is the best or whatever. There are still like 48,000 other people that even a very small percentage of that mass of people who all have the ability to vote on your spec, only like 5% of them need to be agents of chaos to like intentionally grief any particular spec or all of them. And it seems like so far that isn't happening. So that's good. I was kind of a little concerned about that. But because we were all, you're an MDI caster, and I did the MDI where they had the affixes voted on, and I did actually pull Necrotic Raging Fortified Waycrest in that weekend. So like I've seen and felt the impact of the last time that they had community votes for anything that you do in game. Somehow the griefing doesn't seem to be happening, although we can kind of check that out with some class people later, but seems like we're in the clear there, I think.
Yeah, I would have, I get it's like a low-tech way of doing it, right? Just running a bunch of forum polls. Like if they had put more resources in it, I think it would make sense to, do it like in-game on characters that are max level. Like if you log into a max level DH or whatever, you can vote for the DH set bonuses. But the whole season 4 thing seems like this expansion and last expansion, it's been about doing a lot with a low investment of resources, right? So like running forum polls seems like the right way to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly because the I was actually just like kind of showing this in game. The like super cool, a lot of resources invested into this idea is you go to like some spot in Dragonflight, and then like you can choose 2-piece. You can mix and match 2 4-pieces if you want to. You can like literally do it because like usually they don't want you to do 2-piece, right? Because then it incentivizes you to go back an entire patch, and like the BIS for that patch means farming mythic of an old raid. Like Blizzard usually nerfs old 2-pieces for that exact reason, so you never have to do that. But like in season 4, all the raids are relevant, so who would care, right? That's a perfect time to, if you're really, they use the word remix. If they really want to remix tier sets, it would actually be having the ability to have access to all of those things. Even potentially having like a ramping system where it keeps getting more and more, like, it costs like this amount of points to put in a 4 set bonus and this amount of points put in a 2 set, and you keep gaining points every week, and like near the end of the patch you have like multiple bonuses working, and maybe that's like kind of crazy. I mean, that's like kind of how corruption worked in BFA, and like corruption kind of just got more fun as the patch went on. They could have cooked with this, but they chose the, here you guys can just vote and have whatever you want. And that's, I guess that goes along with season 4, but I wonder if they could have done a little bit more with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would be so cool to imagine if you could just choose, any combination of like 2 and 4 pieces ramping over time. Plus like, you remember old essence effects where you'd get like a PvP talent in PvE? Like imagine if you could buy like old essences for those same points.
I mean, why not?
So you're choosing between like, 3 weeks in, I can either have 4-piece, 2-piece, or I can have 2-piece conflict and strife, or I can have, 4-piece blood of the enemy or something like that. That sounds really sick. but it also does sound like a lot more work than this. This seems like a good answer that is not a lot of work, which I respect.
Yeah, I do too.
I
Yeah.
hope they at least put the work in though to really do some serious balancing to whichever ones do get picked, because I think that if the next season, meta doesn't change much from this season, that's gonna
It's
feel
gonna
pretty
feel bad. That's what happened in Shadowlands, right? Like Shadowlands season 3 to 4, but also that kind of made sense though, because you were keeping the same tier bonuses from season 3 to season 4, so like kind of made sense. And also like the super powerful two-handed weapons that existed in season 3 were like already there. It wasn't like that was in season 1 and then came back, like Gavel. But yeah, also it would create another issue, which is like kind of the thing we moved away from in the borrowed power expansions, although they had really high highs, is imagine how bad playing the game would feel day 1 of War Within after you just got done playing with like 3 full tier bonuses for 5 months, like then it would be you just your character would feel like shit when it turned level 75, 85, whatever level we're at right now. Like, so it would kind of have the same negative thing. But yeah, I agree with that, but they did have one line that I think is super interesting. Please keep in mind we're going to update the power of the set bonuses to match the increased power of the new gear in season 4. So any bonuses you choose will be tuned to be as strong as any others. That neither of us are extremely negative Blizzardmen, like against Blizzard, like like we aren't making YouTube videos that like negative rage bait every week, like we I think we keep it real, but also I think some people, because that's the norm, would probably say that we're maybe on the more positive side. I don't fucking know about that. Like basically what they're saying is don't worry about power, pick the cool tier bonus and we'll balance it. And that's a pretty, you're putting your faith in their hands a lot for that.
Yeah, I mean, there are some that are just fundamentally not, like, they're interacting with axes of your character that are just different levels of power, right? Like, you can look at Prop Pally Season 2 versus Season 3. Prop Pally Season 2 is just healing you and doing damage to enemies, and then Prop Pally Season 3 has damage reduction built in, and, like, there's almost no way to balance that where you're not just doing comical difference of numbers, where the healing is going to be competitive with the damage reduction for high-end content. That's just not...
Yeah.
That's not how this game works.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that tier, and someone, Flex brought this up earlier, sometimes going into a patch, your class is very, very strong. So your tier bonus is usually not as strong, even if it is cool, because they need to... Balancing your tier is part of balancing you as a class compared to everybody else, or spec. And so if they're saying that in Season 4, wouldn't they just do the same thing? Like, wouldn't they just look where everyone is? And if, like...
Yeah.
If this class is super strong, but also they're getting an even better tier bonus, then like we have to nerf that bonus, and like or the alternative is there's going to be more meta changing things patch on patch than has ever happened before, because things are going to swing wildly in different directions if they truly mean this. Any bonuses you choose will be as strong as every other. Right now, if you take the current tier bonuses, but simply, let's just say the average tier set bonus is a 15% increase, 2 and 4 piece. If they averaged every single bonus to be literally what they said, exactly the same bonus from your tier set, it would massively change the balance in the game right now. It'd be huge. Things would turn bad, things would turn insane. So like they're saying they're going to do that, and I just don't even know if that is accomplishable by them without I don't know.
I don't know if it means like any Havoc set bonus you choose will be as good as any other Havoc set bonus you choose, or if it means like, yeah, every single DPS set bonus is going to be worth the same, because you're 100% right that is not how the game is currently balanced. On the other hand, like, I don't know, to some extent, if they were capable of doing this, wouldn't they do it with every
season? Why would they be any different, right? Yeah.
It's like, hey, this season we've decided we're going to balance the game. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's within your power, we've got a couple other conversations to have. But I think one argument you could make that says maybe they have a little bit more power over this is that, unlike previous seasons, when they designed, especially the healer and tank set bonuses going into Season 1 and Season 2, they didn't have a baseline for how strong they were, right? Like, they were aiming for a percentage mark probably, and they may have missed, but now they know how much they missed and in which direction with each set bonus, which means they can adjust them, right? Like, if the Prop Pally Season 1 set bonus was supposed to be a 4% survivability increase, and it was actually a 6% survivability increase, completely made up numbers, they now know, like, oh, that effect is 2% stronger than we were thinking it was, right? So now if that bonus gets chosen, and they're now aiming for a 10% bonus, like, they know what number they have to change that to make that happen in a way that they wouldn't if it hadn't been so thoroughly already played with. So to some extent, they do have a little bit of extra information that could make balancing a little bit easier, but I'm still heavily skeptical that we will have 39 balance set bonuses. But I'm glad they're trying. I think I'm glad they're trying because it means that now we're incentivized at least to vote for what we think was fun and cool and will be fun and cool, rather than like what was the most OP number.
Yeah, which is ideally where you. That's ideally where you'd always make that decision. Obviously, that's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
I also thought that maybe I've seen all the tier bonuses expansion because I've had to talk about them, but I wonder, are there any tier bonuses that say things like, and I'll break this down into the most basic version of this. When you cast X ability, a lightning bolt shoots out of your character that does 8,000 damage, right? Like literally there's a static number that doesn't scale with attack power or whatever, spell power, that just does damage, and that number is tuned based on the patch. So what they mean by that sentence or statement is, hey, if there's any like static non-variable numbers, those will be updated to the current thing, so don't worry about it. Like I don't know if that, like, it was kind of like Monk tier set, right? Like Rising Sun Kick when it did that little AoE, like maybe they mean those numbers specifically, because that seems like more relevant. I don't know.
That seems a bit it would be weird to put that on as like one of the sentences in all of your posts when it would only apply to like 3 or 4 set bonuses, right? At tops.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But okay. So we have to talk about things. I kind of wanted to do tanks and healers first. So basically, chat, like what we're planning on doing is we're just going to go through every spec, kind of look where the votes are at. And then we would ideally like to call someone who maybe knows a bit more about that spec than we do, and just kind of have them go over the set bonuses from this expansion and talk about the ones they think are the best, give their opinion on the vote, and then maybe help us. I haven't made my votes yet, so I'll probably vote based on a lot of their recommendations. Usually for these, I like to do tanks and healers first. I usually have tanks do all of it. Dratnos tanks a bit. I'm also going to have Dorki come on, but he's in the middle of the key. He's going to come after this one. So we're probably going to do healers first. There's usually... Healers are a class that are not as multi-classable as tanks. Like, tanks are kind of... High-end tanks are expected to kind of play everything. And healers, while that can be true a little bit in Mythic Plus, that's turbo not true in Raid, and that's like half of this. So we'll probably get some like individual healers on to talk about some of these specs at least, if we can. So do you know any healermen? Let me to kind of bring on to talk about these.
Like a multi-spec.
Could be someone to cover a few of them, like if a healer feels confident to cover 1 or 2, or even someone who's like really good at one of them. People always recommend Megasett for Mistweaver, and it's a good Mistweaver thing, but I don't know if she's around. And like Jack obviously would maybe be great for some of the healer specs or the priest specs. Let me start messaging some folks. All right, Jack said he's down. Calling Jack up. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Jack? We have a huge question for you.
Oh.
So me and Dratnos are super stupid, and we are having a hard time making our votes for every spec in the game's tier set for season 4. So we wanted you to kind of talk about Discipline and Holy and kind of go over the 3 sets, kind of give some opinions on them, and maybe help us decide which one is the best one to vote for.
Sounds good.
Do you feel confident in doing that? Let me turn you up a little bit.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Disc. That's your favorite spec, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so how has like Disc tier sets played out this expansion?
The first tier set was increasing the effectiveness of shields in a lot of ways. So the 2 set was increasing the effectiveness of your next damage spell after you hit a shield. So after you hit shield, your next spell would hit harder. 4 set would be after your penance channels. It would increase the shielding value of your next powered shield.
Wait, 1 second. Before you go, my people are saying F, but I'm not seeing any dropped frames or my ISP being weird. So let me I didn't mean to cut you off. I just didn't want to have you go and then have to like fully repeat everything.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, everyone's saying refresh, we're back. Yeah, so I've had some... Oh, that was a Twitch F? Okay, well, I had a real F earlier, like an hour or 2 ago. So just throwing it out there that if that happens, we will be finishing all of these today, no matter what, even if... Okay, sorry, Jack. So where we were right before it F was, if anyone... We are talking about Disc Priests, and you started with Season 1, and I think Season 1 for most classes in the game... They even said, like, we're going for a super basic set. So I'd be interested to see across all classes how many Season 1s even get picked. But what is the Disc one like?
Yeah. So the Season 1 Disc set is after your shield gets cast, your next damage spell hits a little harder. The 4 set, after you hit Penance, your next shield is a little bit stronger. This one is, like, super bare bones, basic, like you just said. I don't really anticipate anybody playing around it. It kind of mimics a talent that exists for Disc already called Wheel and Woe, where the amount of penance bolts that you hit increases the value of your next shield. So it was kind of reminiscent of that. You get some like big, juicy single target shield, but like that was pretty much the only interaction, and it was very bare bones.
Yeah, I actually liked this one, like conceptually, because it was kind of I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it was incentivizing a pretty fun little alternating pattern of button suppress, but I don't know how much it actually made the rotation something like it was something you actually thought about at all.
So the problem with that is, from like the outside, it's very common for people who are like new to Disc to be like, oh, like I'm gonna cast a heal spell to apply atonement, then I'm gonna DPS a little and kind of jump back and forth between that. But usually what you really do is like you'll apply all your atonements and then you'll just only deal damage. And both raids and M+. So like gameplay wise, it doesn't really work out that way.
Was it strong?
Like, it was very mediocre. It was like, okay, cool.
Okay,
whatever.
so this thing stinks. We're not picking this.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
What about season 2?
Season 2 is a really big favorite for Mythic Plusters in particular. So the 2 set was increasing your dot damage, your Purge the Wicked, which you're spreading around your dots and it converts into more atonement healing. And it also increased your Power Word Radiance healing, which is your primary way of applying atonements. It's your AoE heal that hits 5 targets. So it actually makes that heal pretty substantial with a 15% buff. And then the 4 set is insane, where the atonements that you apply from Radiance last 3 seconds longer. So you hit your AoE heal, you apply 5 atonements to allies for 13 seconds. And your spells have a chance to make Radiance, which is usually a 2-second cast, costs less mana, and the instant cast. So Mythic Plus players loved this one because it allowed them to basically just like heal on the move and save time on what is usually a lengthy cast for them.
They nerfed this one as well, right? This was this one. I remember it being super OP during raid test. I remember you were playing this in my raid testing. And yeah.
No. You're thinking of the Holy Priest.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was Holy.
Yeah.
Holy Priest was super.
All right, we'll
insane.
get to that later then. Yeah.
That's right. To be continued.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
so
okay, M+1.
Mythic Plus favorite. Oh, that's actually, I didn't consider that a thing. I wonder if like some specs are going to be split down the middle between a fun Mythic Plus set and a fun raid set, and like it's just a fucking battle.
I think that, so first of all, I think M+ is always going to win that because there's more M+ers than raiders, but I think that it should win that this season as well, because like almost everybody is going to be more
very
M+ing
true.
than they
Yeah,
are
it's like
raiding this season.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or like the ratio, right? Even if you're normally like 50-50 raid M+, you're probably 70-30 M+ this coming season, because like
ordinarily I'd agree. This is where we're talking about season 3, if we're ready for that, kind of comes around.
Okay.
Because they also revamped Disc Priest and how it's working. So you're playing around your pet, which is also tied to your Shadow Covenant, which is increasing the damage of your spells. And so when it comes to season 3, right now your Smite and Penance extend the duration of atonement. Your Smite extends the duration of 1 atonement, and Smite and Penance's damage is increased with the 2 set. And then your 4 set is the really big thing, where when you have Shadow Covenant up, when you have your pet up, your Smite is going to hit an additional time, which then gives you another hit of cooldown reduction, which gives you your pet back faster. So it's this like positive feedback loop of like when you have your pet out and you hit Smite, you get more cooldown reduction to get your pet back faster. And so this is the big issue right now with the Disc Priest community, is that the power is really tied into the current Amirdrasil set, because that's how you get more uptime for your damage buffs. And so if you went back to that season 2 set, you would lose a massive amount of uptime for, your buff that makes you actually do healing. But yeah, you'd have the convenience of instant cast Radiance.
Damn, it looks like, so that's interesting then. So why do you think, so more, it looks like currently more people are voting for the season 3 bonus, but you think season 2, like what are the power differences? Like,
right now, the whole spec is like designed around Amirdrasil's set. So it's like a really massive power bonus by having the Amirdrasil setup. And basically it worked really well in season 2 with how the spec worked at the time. And season 2 was really fun to play in M+'s disc, but in raids, it just was like floundering, right? Just wasn't broad.
Okay. Which one would you vote for if you could? Like, what's your opinion?
Season 3.
You'd vote for season 3?
I think they made a post saying that they're like, hey, if the power differences are out there, we'll balance. And I don't have too much faith in them making a lot of like talent changes to make season 2 work. So I would just say season 3.
Okay. All right. Well, you have my vote. I'll throw it on there. Yeah. I mean, again, that is a big question, right? Like, if you feel like season 2 is the big gameplay, but also, yeah, it's weird because like this is true with a few specs in this game, but like the season where you get like kind of reworked a bit. That season's tier set plays into that, and that just happened. So it's gonna feel weird to go back to one that isn't like directly there and synergistic with what you're trying to do. So
exactly.
Okay, cool. So we'll do that then. I'll vote season 3.
I'm voting season 1.
Aww.
If you guys can't get your act together between the season 2ers and the season 3ers, you're gonna get punished.
I mean, you know what? A vote not for season 2 is a vote I can get behind, so we'll take those.
Okay, so it is pretty split though. I'd be interested to see how many classes are actually that split. All right, so Holy, just in general, I don't think we need as much of a breakdown about like all the intricacies in it. We just started doing these talks. I would say to get through all these specs in time, we probably need to go over it and have like general thoughts about it: good, bad, powerful, not powerful, fun, not fun, less intricate stuff, more general. But what is so what is your thoughts on Holy? I know season 2 is when Holy was super insane. I'm not sure if that was due to its tier power.
Slightly. So season 1 was like basic. Here's a little stat buff. Season 2, you have a little buff called Prayer of Mending, and you basically just spew out a whole bunch of extra one of those. And by getting extra hits of that, you would get more Holy Words, which gives you more Salvation, which is your big raid cooldown. Notably, going into Season 3, they nerfed the cooldown reduction for it, which is a big reason why the spec's kind of struggling right now. Symbol of Hope got cut in half in terms of its utility, and right now they made it so that Season 3's bonus is basically when you cast your Holy Words, you place renews on them, and those renews will also activate more free Holy Words. So the Season 3 setup is really good for both raids and M+, and so I think that should be far and away like the winner for it. The Season 2 one was really OP in PTR when I was doing testing with Dratnos, because it just bounced infinitely all over the place, but it gives you like a lot of buffs of small heals, and that was okay in M+, but not really that good. And it was good in raids when it worked synergistically with Holy Word Salvation, and obviously that got nerfed. So I think Season 3 for Holy Priest is far and away the best option for both raiders and M+ers.
Dude, I remember Season 2 PTR was such an interesting time because for a really long while you couldn't actually tell what healers were good or what they felt like, because if you were testing with a Holy Priest in your group, literally no one else could do healing. Like, it was so unbelievably broken.
It was so bad. It just blotted out the sun like an eclipse.
All right, I'll vote it. You said season 3, right?
Yep, Season 3 for Holy
Priest.
Priest.
A lot of Season 2 voters. That's really interesting.
They remember, man. It was bouncing around. It was fun.
I mean, it's fun when it like bounces around, but yeah.
Okay, and this is good because there's definitely not a lot of. I was worried about trolling happening with a lot of these things, but like, dude, if so many people would just vote for the class they hate the most Season 1 bonus or something, but that's hasn't been happening. All right, that's all we need. Thanks for your time, man.
You bet. Thanks for having me, guys. Take it easy.
I'm gonna add Megasett to the call, and then you can ask her about Mistweaver. You'll do the lead in.
All right.
Hello. Hey. What's
up? We're doing we're doing a voting guide for people for all the specs with the new set bonuses. So obviously you're here to talk about devastation of hang on, you're here to talk about Mistweaver. What's the good Mistweaver set bonus and why?
It's got to be 3. This is the most insane tier set I've ever seen us have, but we received over the course of like the whole expansion, we got a lot of changes, mostly to Essence Font, which is why the Season 1 tier set is kind of just has fallen off the map because it does focus on that. And right now in Raid, we're not pressing it. In Keys, you can press it, but it's not really recommended. So that one has gotten a lot weaker since Essence Font got weaker. And then the buffs to other talents changed our playstyle, making the Ancient Teachings thing a little bit more irrelevant. So that kind of put Season 1 in the dirt. Season 2 was really good in its time because of basically like the infinite mana hack with the Renewing Mist and the T's and 5% mana back over the entire fight. We got a ton of mana back, but then we also got the Mana Tea rework that season, and then they changed our R2 and R4 set to only be a healing buff on certain abilities, which is just like a worst version of Season 3, because Season 3 is just all healing applies.
I guess I haven't talked to you since the beginning of this season, but I kind of want to. You're a like Mistweaver mainstay all the time. You are always flying the Mistweaver flag. How has this season been for you? Being extremely good, probably for Like the first time that has ever been some like super weird haste scaling thing in farm that gets nerfed instantly.
I really thought we were gonna get struck down pretty early, especially with the tier set. I'm like, there's no way that this stays. Like after the race, I was expecting to just get smited from the heavens, but I'm really surprised that it hasn't happened yet. So I'm having a blast. It's nice not being like the meme weaver, even though it's kind of the fun little name that we get. It's nice to have it not be so serious for once. Like I don't feel like I have to constantly defend myself for playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So it's nice to see other people. Like there's a ton of people playing it in keys now and seeing people blast off in raid like they usually do, but Mythic Plus has seen a huge influx of people playing it, and it's really nice to have like more people now. Just a bigger community.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Survival Hunter in season 3 and 4, where like that was the least played spec ever, and now, like, or not now really, but like for those 2 months, like so many people got to experience survival for the first time. I feel like Mistweaver was one of those classes, like where even now, like I think it's better than its representation across top keys, and that's just because a lot of people still just don't play it, and it's not in their character pool. And that's the only time that can ever change is when they're really powerful like this. So that's good. And then it looks like you guys have a 6 season 3. There's no like I have a quick opinion. Like, is there Blizzard in their message for this said like, don't worry, if you had an old not powerful one, we'll like retune it. Is there any thought of like they could pick season 1 or 2? And I don't really believe them when they say this for full clarification, but like is there any like, oh well, they could just make those as powerful as the season 3 and they would be fun and good?
I don't think they could do anything within reason to the first 2 seasons to make it close to season 3. I don't think that there's anything they can do, because a 50% buff to all healing is just, how do you match that when you have things that are tied specifically to Enveloping Mist, Essence Font, Vivify without it being
they'd have to
extremely ridiculous? Yeah.
That's a good
And then
point.
the
We
mana's
will
not an
nerf
issue.
that set bonus now.
Hey, wait.
That's the way to do it.
I have like a kind of a fun question for you that I think we might ask some other people. If they did make this patch to where you could mix and match any 2 and 4 piece, or 2 piece and 2 piece, or 4 piece and 4 piece, would that change your ideal set bonus other than season 3's 2 and 4?
Yeah. I would do the pre-nerf version, like the mana version of the 2 set from season 2, and the current 2 set for season 3. I would do the 2 and 2 for that.
Oh, dude, that makes me, dude, I really wish they would do that. I the more we kind of cooked about that earlier, Dratnos, the more I'm like, that would actually be fucking insane if they let us do that for a season.
Because we're getting like Enervates and Source and stuff in Raid right now, and there was a mana trinket, the Spine trinket from Blackrock Hold that was used early on when it was bugged. But like just being able to get all of that mana from the 2 set, and then just to be able to blast off with this 2 set from this season would be ridiculous, but it would be a lot of fun.
All right, hell yeah. Thank you for your time. That's all we needed. I put in my vote for season 3.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Dratnos, do you have so we need Rester Druid, Holy Paladin. Oh yeah, we can get Ellesmere. Well, let me guess. Do you have Ellesmere on Discord? I don't think I do. Yeah, ask him.
Yo, what you up to? He's Gray Circle right now, so he might not be around.
Yeah, he seems like an adult.
Yeah, we hate that.
Yeah, he really seems like he's like you'd ask him what he's doing and he's like, oh, sorry, I'm like doing my taxes, or like
What, you're a streamer? You don't have to do taxes if you're a streamer.
What?
Yeah, it's all, it doesn't count. They can't find out.
Do you not do your taxes?
You don't have to. It's no, the IRS, they can't get you if you're a streamer. It's not allowed.
Okay. I haven't been thinking about it like that. Well,
You've just been giving up money for free?
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that's, you win some and you lose some money sometimes. That's okay. I mean, we could, I have a million people to bring on for DPS, but I usually like getting healers and tanks out of the way before we get into the good shit.
Yeah, I mean, we could just jump around, I guess, and then it'd be fun for Frank to edit it later so that it's all the healers and tanks together.
Oh, wait, that's super easy. Frank can just edit it.
Yeah.
That's
Frank
so easy.
He DM'd me earlier and he was like, my favorite thing is fixing the videos in post-production.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well, if he said that, then yeah, I'll start messaging some people.
Yeah.
Are you watching my stream, by the way?
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm a Lego guy?
You do look a little bit like a Lego guy, yeah.
Okay.
I think the haircut beard combo is making your head awful square, and then the sleeves being so.
You don't have to be as specific, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, you asked, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna add. You said that really fast. Okay, so we need to get done with healers. Do you feel confident talking about what are the ones we need left? It's Preservation, Restore Druid,
Holy Paladin,
Paladin, and there's one more, right? Shaman too.
Shaman.
Restore
Shaman,
Shaman. Restore
Arshan.
Shaman. Well, we know Pete, so you play Pete.
Yeah, I played a decent amount. I didn't like progress raid on every single healer, but I mean, I understand how the spells work and shit, at least in terms of like how good the healers were and how fun they were to play or whatever.
Okay, cool. So we'll do that. Maybe we'll find a Paladin. Did Ellesmere respond to you?
You can just wait, and then everyone in the chat will just type Ragey, and then you can get someone who knows what
Oh
they're
wait,
talking about
let's
if they're
tag
not
team.
happy.
Let's tag team. I'm gonna add JB too. We're gonna
Alright,
make
legendary.
this. We're gonna make this
Yeah.
weird.
Ellesmere's like busy for an hour or so, so I assume we probably just go
he's doing
that.
taxes. All right.
He's doing taxes.
Yep. All right, JB, I added you. You and Growl are gonna help us choose the Preservation, Resto Shaman, Holy Paladin, and Resto Druid. Is that the last one? Did I say
Yeah.
that? Those 4 healers tier sets, and you guys can butt over and talk over each other as much as you want. Amen.
Nobody knows what the fuck the rest of Shaman tier sets are. That's not fair.
Dude, Growl does. He mains Pete.
Good. Okay. Well,
No, a
whatever
little
Growl
bit.
says
I actually progressed Shaman in raid tier 2 until I got benched. I know up
should
to
have been the
Rashok.
first boss.
All right, let's start with the new spec this expansion that no one seems to be playing right now and had a very fun season 1 bonus, Preservation.
Yeah. So everyone's like, all the preservation evokers are going to vote for season 1, but they're voting for nostalgia, not for an actual set bonus. They're voting for a time when their spec was relevant, and that feels like a set bonus, but that's not really what that was. And
There's a lot of that going around.
because they're going to vote for it and they're going to get it, and then they're going to realize like, oh, it wasn't actually the set bonus at all that made us good. It was the fact that we were doing like 40% more healing than a lot of other healers.
So I remember a lot of things from Preservation Evokers coming out of season 1 where they were sad they were losing their tier piece, and they wanted it to be baked into the class because they liked that instant living flame so much. Like, I think part of it was gameplay, right? But I do think there's a lot of that happening that where like clearly a lot of these votes are like, oh, my class was the most powerful in this season, so let's click that, even if sometimes it was nerfed afterwards. So you don't think that has anything to do with it?
I mean, it's tough to like unwind that, I think, because I think as a general rule, season 1 set bonuses were designed to be like less powerful. And I know Blizzard has said they're gonna, buff anything that isn't as good as something. Like if it's underpowered as a set bonus, when we bring it back, we'll buff it until it's like as good as it should be, quote unquote. But I guess I don't trust that.
I mean, let's get this on the same. Absolutely no one here should be confident in Blizzard coming through with that. That's an insane thing to vote on, I think. We talked about this before, but like you would just buff it during the patch, right? Like that makes no sense.
So yeah, I don't know. Like in general, when somebody votes for a season 1 set bonus, I'm immediately skeptical. And like Living Flame as an instant cast was cool, but like cool offensively. I don't know that I ever gave a shit defensively, really. And I think that not that any of the other set bonuses for Evoker were necessarily like a lot more fun. I mean, instant cast Living Flame is fun. That part I'll agree with. But I'm not sure that it's going to do for Evokers what they think it's going to do for them by voting for it.
What do you think, Growl?
I think healer tier sets in general, and especially Evoker, were pretty underwhelming this expansion. I'm not sure what they usually are, but the big problem is there's a huge difference between the way that you play in Raid and the way that you play in M+ on healers. Because healer is like more of a support role, right? So pretty much every healer, you're going to have this like big divide on how M+ers think and how Raiders think. So like the instant cast Living Flame and honestly the reversion healing is like kind of nice. And as an M+er, I do like season 1. Like regardless of power level, season 2 and season 3 just are basically nothing burgers. Like you just, when you press your buttons, it just does some passive healing. That's literally every single of the other bonuses. I think Essence Burst is like pretty underwhelming. It's like one of the worst procs now that Paladins are actually using their infusions. And so, I don't know. I think for M+, you definitely like season 1. But if you're a guy who just wants Evoker to be strong, I agree with JB that the other tier sets are probably going to be better. In terms of, I don't know, I still think the season 1 is the most interesting, though. And if I had to pick, I'm picking strictly based off of how it affects both M+ and Raid and how fun it is, rather than how powerful it is. And I just don't really think that season 2 or 3 are, like, interesting at all.
It's weird, though? I think going into a normal patch, I would agree with that. But I think going into this patch, I agree with Dratnos, where I feel like Mythic Plus takes huge priority because like this is like a fucking fake raid season. Like no one cares. So
Yeah.
like
If you're voting on raid set bonuses, like shame on you.
Guys, I need to get my
Don't-
Parth in Faded Season.
Don't tell the class discords that, dude. They're so mad. Wait till we get to Druid.
okay,
And
They're
if you raid this, like if you raid and faded and give a fuck, like
yeah, it's weird.
you have bigger problems than what set bonus you're running.
No, yeah.
Amen. Amen.
All right. So what are your all's official votes? You need to
My
sway me.
official vote is actually season 1.
And then
I don't think anybody's gonna play preservation fucking anyway, like in any content. So yeah, if they want season 1, then
I mean,
it's at least an enjoyable set bonus. I don't know that it's as strong, but it's at least enjoyable.
all right. So we've come back to season 1.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
I mean, here's the thing. For healer set bonuses, I shouldn't qualify that with healer set bonuses. For all set bonuses, I am going to lie to you on this stream because I'm worried about what the truth will do for the voting.
Fair. That's why, that's why we respect you as a, tweeter, as a creator, as a streamer. You do what's best for us, even if we don't, you know what I mean? Even if we don't know it.
Yeah.
As long as our interests align, as long as it's not one of the spots where one streamer wins and another loses.
Oh,
Like
God.
you're gonna hear me say some shit today, and then here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, is that I'm gonna say some shit, and if I'm right, then I'll just be like, yeah, well, obviously I was right. And if I'm wrong about some shit, then I'll just be like, well, yeah, I was gaslighting. Like that's why I said that. It was
That's like people on Twitch. Like you can say something insanely stupid, but like you were just trolling, right? You're just a troll.
So speaking of gaslighting, I think we should do Paladin next.
Oh, beautiful. Where the fuck is Paladin? I was down here.
So Paladin was really good in season 2, so we should vote for their season 2 set bonus. Is that
That seems to be the move, yeah.
is that true lore?
So season 3, actually, in my opinion, as a raid set, is like pretty dang powerful. Like everyone really likes the way that Glimmer plays, and having a tier set that revolves around Glimmer and like makes it do a lot of healing. People like spreading around and like doing raid healing and stuff. People also like Daybreak. Basically, Daybreak you use with another cooldown that's can be reduced by 15 seconds as well with Divine Toll. And so having the tier set reduce them means that you can sync Daybreak and Divine Toll together, which sort of like adds a like kind of a combo that you didn't necessarily have before, or that you didn't always want to use like that. So I think if you're like primarily like healer wise, I think a lot of people will like season 3. I think season 1 is super boring. Season 1 is like the omega, not interesting, not strong set. It basically comes down to like, do you like Glimmer or do you like Light's Hammer or Holy Prism? And I think they like nerfed. I don't remember what they nerfed about this, but I remember they nerfed this stuff pretty hard. Either they nerfed Holy Prism and Light's Hammer, or they nerfed the tier set or something. So power wise, I think people are gonna like season 3 and it plays well. I don't know. What do you think, JB?
I think season 3 was I think it actually got an unfair amount of criticism on PTR, like the Holy Reverb shit. A lot of Paladins were trying to say that it sucked, and then it turned out that it was like actually so good that it had to be nerfed. And I think it's boring. I actually think Glimmer gameplay is boring for the most part. And I think it works against what makes against the core ethos of Paladin, which is I want my heals to like blast people. I don't want it to do like echo healing later. I want it, when I holy shock someone, I want their health to move up. And I don't want it to move up because they had Glimmer on them. I want it to move up because I holy shocked them.
It seems like
I just don't like it. Glimmer gameplay.
Well, I mean, it seems like this patch has been like really controversial for Holy Paladin, right? Like they finally make at least in raid, they make them play these like caster talents, and like a lot of Holy Paladins fucking hate that shit. But I don't know how much of that is based on the set bonus. Like I know that people hate Paladins right now because it seems like you can't actually top people. What made them so powerful in season 2 Mythic Plus was they would just instantly top. They were the healer that could just spot heal and no one else could. And I don't know how much of that is due to their tier Bs. Like Holy Shock's crit heal for 60% more sounds like insane spot healing, right? So like, and that's what they're failing with now. So I could kind of see this season 2 bonus getting a lot of love for that, even though they were also just the most powerful during that time. Well,
what I really liked about the season 2 bonus was that it made your Holy Prism, I mean Light's Hammer as well, but but I would say especially Holy Prism, it turned it into like an actual button that felt good to. And I always appreciate set bonuses that give you more buttons or make a button that you normally don't really care about do something that you do care about now. And so having another thing that you can press, especially into your beacons to get like legitimate healing out of Holy Prism, was a really nice addition to Holy Paladin. And those are the set bonuses that, all things being equal, I would probably rather have. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a set bonus that just makes a heal you already use stronger, because you knew you were going to be pressing it anyway. But especially in like Mythic Plus for spot healing, Holy Prism just felt like making that be a giga button felt really good. And it's sort of the antithesis of the Season 3 set bonus, at least with Holy Reverb, where Holy Reverb is just a complete passive, like you're not really thinking about it. I mean, there's ways to min-max it, but it's not really changing your healing profile that much. And yeah, having 15 seconds shaved off of your Daybreak is nice, but it didn't change what the button does. It just lets you use it more often and maybe in a slightly different combination. So all that being said, definitely vote for the Season 1 set bonus.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Personally, I agree with JB that like Glimmer is not that super interesting, especially in M+. Like in M+, like you just need to heal who needs to be healed. Like you don't want to be sitting there like trying to spread Glimmer when other people are in danger. So I actually liked Holy Prism 2, and I thought that was a cool addition. So yeah, I mean, personally, I would vote Season 2, but I feel like it might play a little clunky in Raid.
Yeah, the Holy Paladin in my guild, who does not do much M+, really likes the Season 3 set bonus. So that being said, you know, I think this season makes a lot of sense to go for a fun M+ build over a fun Raid build.
Well, I mean, JB said antithesis, so I'm going to default to his selection. Well, but I think his selection was a meme selection.
He's voting Season 1 to troll Holy Paladin.
Yeah, no, I also
Yeah.
vote for Season 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I don't want Frank to have to read YouTube comments about this. So like, which is the like actual vote? Like, give an actual vote. I did not fuck Holy Paladin's vote.
No.
Yeah, no.
Season 3.
Oh god. All right, I voted for 3. Looks like 2's winning anyway. Fuck it. All right, Resto Shaman. I can't believe you just said no.
I have no knowledge of Resto Shaman set bonuses.
I'm trying to find it on the list. Okay, that's Ellie Shaman. Okay, so I would say to go in reverse. This season I find very not interesting at all. This season basically is just like,
isn't that every Resto Shaman bonus? I feel like every Resto Shaman bonus for years has been fucking so boring.
In my opinion, I could be wrong because I didn't rate on Resto Shaman this tier, but in my opinion, like, you don't really care at all about the tier set. You just like sort of use it, and it just does like random passive healing to people, and it's, I don't know, Riptide set. Season 2 goes along with more of what they've been doing with Shaman this season that made it cool, which is making Healing Rain a button that you like to press, like doing more with it. Because before, like, a couple seasons ago, or not, a couple expansions ago, Healing Rain is like, oh, if everyone's stacked and sitting in it, you press it, otherwise it sucks. But now it's like, you know, you can use it with Acid Rain for damage. Like, now you're using it with the tier set to give you a little bit of buff. Like, it's not super impactful, but at least it, like, it interacts with a button and, like, makes that button better. Season 1, it's, power level-wise, I think Season 1 is probably the strongest, for sure, in M+. But I think Season 2 is, like, more interesting and cooler. So I would vote for Season 2, just because it's, like, the only one of the 3 that's, like, kind of feels like it's impacting how your buttons are. Like, the thing about while your healing stream and cloudbursts are active, you get crit. Like, those buttons are your best buttons, and like, you want them high uptime anyway. Like, you're not changing the way you play at all because of that. It just gives you raw stats, which doesn't really do anything.
You've convinced me. I like Season 2. Dratnos, any take? JP?
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Restoration Shaman.
Yeah.
Glass water.
Wow, it's actually
totems.
really close. It's actually this is the closest one by far. All of the votes are within 10% of each other.
No one even knows. People are just clicking.
People just
random
making
buttons.
Season
shit
1
up.
is winning as well. That, you know what? Season 1's kind of cool. I don't know. It's
See, this
at
is-
least it just kind of gets out of the way and is kind of fun. I don't know.
Well, before it felt good because you played Cloudburst and getting crit for a bigger Cloudburst felt great. But now you play healing stream,
Yeah,
right?
your healing stream is really good, right? Like they buffed that thing to be a surprisingly high amount of healing.
Yeah,
right?
but like, isn't it going to feel not as good to have stats that it doesn't go into this like, you know, big burst heal thing, and it's just like more rant. I don't know. Maybe you still play. I could be. By the way, could be making all of this up. Who knows? But I don't know. Season 1 seems turbo boring, like all of them. Season 2.
I mean, Cloudburst is cool. Like, you definitely like. Well, first of all, I think the average civilian shaman actually doesn't like Cloudburst. They just want the easy button. They don't have to think about. And at the same time, if you are like a shaman enjoyer and you like Cloudburst, it's more about the number that goes in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really like, oh, this Cloudburst, like, you know what I mean? You're just trying to slam as much healing into it as possible.
Yeah, you
so
want a
can be
fat
like,
ass
oh,
Cloudy
man.
B.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really matter too much. Like, it is nice that it gives you that crit, but ultimately, like, it just comes down to tuning anyway. Like, if Cloudburst sucks, like, this set isn't going to save it or anything.
I fucking hate Cloudburst, by the way. I would like to interject.
So
Well,
you're
I
a
mean, you're not a
civilian.
shaman enjoyer.
Yeah, you're
No,
a
I'm not a
fucking
shaman enjoyer.
you're a civvy.
That's honestly every time that I get ready to log on Shaman, like at the beginning of the season, I'm like, is Cloudburst still the best option for Shaman? And if chat's like yes, then I'm like, okay. And then I like to rank the healers on my character select screen based on most to least likely to play it. And whenever chat says healing stream is not better than Cloudburst Totem, Shaman goes to the bottom of my character select screen.
Well, okay, so I have Thune in the chat saying if Growl doesn't say season 1, he's trolling. And I have Laren in the other chat saying if I don't say season 2, I'm trolling. So you guys are going to have to fight this out.
I mean, it looks
We
like
got
they already
Raider
are on the
versus
rankings.
Unbuster.
Season 1 and Season
Yeah.
2 are really fucking close. 4% between. Thune says pick Season 2. Season 2 is way better. All right. And they're both in my chat saying Season 2. Are you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
I literally see a line from Thune that says if Growl doesn't say season 1. Maybe
Oh,
I missed the context
shit.
of it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Known gaslight. That's a known gaslight
I'm-
there.
It's actually the most themed thing of all time to tell
Yeah.
you two different things in two different chats
Yeah.
about
That
Shaman.
goes crazy hard.
Yeah.
All right, last one. The healer that now spawns trees that heal people instead of you.
All right, I'm going to make the class Discords angry.
Let's get
We're
it.
going to go season 3. That's the best one for M+. It's way good for M+.
How close is the voting on this right now for Resto Druid?
Let me find out.
Are you deciding how much you're gonna have to lie to get what you want here?
This changes how much I have to lie.
All right, Season 3 currently is winning by a landslide.
Oh, fuck yeah, we can be honest. Let's go.
Send it.
Okay, so Season 2 is a raid set bonus, but also harkens back to a time when Flourish wasn't a dog shit button. And there's a lot of Resto Druids that are going to vote for Season 2 because in the same way that Preservation Evokers voting for Season 1 want to go back to a time when Preservation Evoker was good, there's a lot of Resto Druids that want to go back to a time when Resto Druid wasn't fucking cheeks to play in raid. And the problem is a set bonus isn't going to fix that. That Season 2 set bonus is not going to make Resto Druid fun to play in raid. It's still going to be fucking boring. It's still going to be mana hungry. You're still not going to like it, except now your set bonus is also going to be dog shit. Or you could vote for Season 3, which is legitimately the best Mythic Plus set bonus Resto Druid has maybe ever had, and makes regrowth into a very fun button and gives you a spot healing profile that Druid has never had before. And Resto Druid owns a Mythic Plus. It's fun in Mythic Plus. You could have a set bonus that's good for Mythic Plus, and you can just punt on raid next season. Don't play let me just cut to the chase. Don't fucking play Resto Druid in raid next season. The end. Don't vote for weird fucking set bonuses that are built for raiding, because then you're just going to play a shitty class with a shitty set bonus in raid, and you're going to hate yourself anyway. Instead, let the people that want to play Mythic Plus Resto Druid have fun next season.
Okay.
So vote Season 1.
Wait, didn't also... So one of these set bonuses I remember was like insanely powerful, and Blizzard nerfed the fuck out of it, either to prevent you from wearing an old two-piece, or they nerfed it in the actual patch. Was that the Season 2 one?
Yes.
So even if you're picking Season 2, that's also a copium, like, oh, they're just going to rebuff it again?
Yes.
I feel
what
like
people
that's
are
so
hoping-
risky.
What they're hoping, and this is like Druids are no stranger to copium, and this, even for Resto Druids, is like high on the copium meter. They're hoping that if they vote for Season 2, it will force Blizzard to buff Flourish, not the set bonus. They're hoping that it will force them
insane.
to buff the skill back to what it used to be in order to make the set bonus not suck.
Okay, I kind of like that, though. It's like falling on the sword and saying you're going to suck for a season for the small chance that they fix your class in the future. That kind of goes hard as fuck, though. It's very metal.
I don't know, man. The Grove Guardians are so obviously the future though, because they're making that one of the hero talents. Like it's, I don't know. I think that's the place where they're much more likely to like put power in.
Okay, I like that. So season 1.
So season 1.
Season 1.
All right, fuck yeah. All right. So I also asked Dryny. I asked for a Dryny opinion. What did we end up saying for Paladin?
Season 1.
I think it's probably season 2 is more interesting and better for M+. But I think Raid Power season 3 might be better. I could be wrong, but also tuning has affected season 2 Paladin. That makes it worse. And so it's hard to say depending on how they fix it or whatever.
So I asked Dryny, and he said in all caps, so he was yelling, season 2 only interactive one. So I swapped my vote to season 2 to respect Dryny. All right. So all the healers are done. All right, fucking healers, love that. All right, thanks for coming on, Healingman.
No problem.
Wait, I didn't even get to talk about Disc Priest.
We already did Disc Priest. Do you want to spit about it though?
Yes, I think you should vote for season 1.
And why is that?
It's just everybody loves fucking Power Word Shield.
That's true. That's a good point. Hang on.
I might change my
play-
vote because of that.
If you play Disc Priest and you don't like Power Word Shield, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's what your class does. I can't wait till we talk about AUG. That'll be fun. All right.
Oh God.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the call, healers. Get out
Yep.
of here.
No problem.
Scram. All right. And now we're bringing on a very unfortunate guest.
Oh no.
We will begrudgingly add him to the call here.
Oh.
Yeah.
not
It's
this.
who you think it is.
Not this again. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yo, Dorki, what's up?
Oh, wait, Dratnos is here too. Yo, what up?
Yo, we're talking about tanks now. I guess this is gonna be sweet.
Yo, I love tanks. Wait, I'm a Boomkin player though.
Okay, we can do Boomkin as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would be.
yeah.
We could get Moonkin out of the way. That'd be great. I bet all the Moonkin,
Yeah.
all the Moonkin community would really like that actually. So that'd be good.
Bro, I got a freaking mythic Vakash weapon today from my vault. I am massive.
I got a mythic double time for my vault today. It's too
What
easy.
the hell? Yeah, well, screw you too.
It's fucking easy for me.
Fucking easy.
All right, let's start with DK. Where would you help us go DK wise, or like where do you think the DK bonuses have gone this expansion?
Oh, dude, this one's hard because I think all the DK sets suck. Like out of all the tanks,
Yeah.
I think DK has it the worst across the board.
And
I think a
Dratnos,
lot of people
obviously,
would
you should be
say-
really involved in all these because you have been
Yeah.
playing most of these.
Yeah.
right?
Be involved.
Yeah, just be
Yeah,
involved.
dude, DK, they do suck. The bonuses just all, I don't know. I feel like I like season 2 the most. I liked procking those Vamp Bloods. I thought that was kind of fun, but it's the most like RNG as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will say season 2. So I personally don't really like the season 2 one, just because it was kind of annoying to play. Where it's like pseudo dancing Rupin keep uptime thing, where you want to be like heart striking and blood boiling during it to extend it. But you don't really think about it too much, honestly. Honestly, any of these sets you don't really think about. The first set was really nice in season 1. It was kind of nice because you didn't have to care about runes at all. You had basically infinite runes with the first season set. Second season set, kind of whatever. Third season set is also just like kind of whatever passive.
Yeah, the season 1 set. I mean, I feel like free rune procs. I feel like that would not be as good with how much haste we have right now, and also free haste. Like free damage, free runes, free haste. I feel like is going to be less important with season 4 stats. So
Yeah, I agree.
So
I would vote season 2, but I wouldn't mind season 3 either. I think season 3 is probably a little bit more powerful theoretically.
Season 2 is a little bit more damage, but that's about
Mm.
do you guys find it a little weird that Blood DK hasn't been like meta in Mythic Plus? They've been a great raid tank the whole expansion, but they haven't been meta in Mythic Plus the whole expansion, and I feel like tier sets kind of almost define tank power in Mythic Plus in a way. And do you think that Blood has basically missed out of that because not having like insanely powerful tier like they did last expansion?
I definitely feel like it plays a part into it, but I think Blood is just it's got too many problems at the moment to be really considered in high M plus.
Okay. Which one? So sorry, you said you need to. So one of you picked season 2, and one of you picked season 3, right?
I'll pick for season 3. Yeah, I don't really think too strongly about either one. I think they're all pretty lame, but I'll go with season 3.
What'd you say,
Oh, yeah,
Dratnos?
season 2 gang. Season 2 gang. Let's
Season
go.
2 gang. I'm
Alright.
gonna vote with
The people,
Dratnos.
dude, the people are on my side.
The people are on your side. That's
Yeah.
like way
Screw
better.
the people. Screw them all.
I haven't played Blood DK
You're
in
an
a
out
long
of touch
time.
elitist. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah,
I mean-
well, screw the people.
I haven't played DK in a long time, but I've played a ton of DK in my day, and the idea of just proccing Vampiric Blood sounds awesome, and that would get my vote from someone who didn't play it at all.
Yeah, it barely even anyways.
Yeah, they all kind of do suck.
What are your all's favorite Blood DK set bonuses of all time? You can
I don't
only pick
remember
one.
what exactly the Legion last season did, but I remember it being pretty cool. Something like Dancing Weapon.
Dude, if people say Shadowlands season 3 and 4, you have no taste, because that was super OP.
He just liked it because it was OP.
Yeah, it was super OP, but it actually took everything that is usually fun about playing Blood into just this like spam Heartstrike simulator, and I don't know, I think that's like anti-fun.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, it felt good to be OP though. That's for sure.
Do you have one, Dratnos?
No, dude, I don't even remember any other Blood DK set bonuses. I don't remember ever liking any Blood DK set bonuses.
Bro, they gotta be innovative with Blood DK.
I love the base of that spec, but I never have felt like it's been enhanced well by a set bonus.
That's true, actually.
That is, and they could easily do that too. They have like so many resources. Okay, Vengeance is expansion. What are we feeling?
Season 1, baby. That's right. Season
Dude,
1.
oh,
The only set bonus of these 3 that isn't cool.
This one is spicy because all of them are actually. But this is like a complete opposite of Blood DK. Like 1, 2, and 3 are all pretty sick. 1 gave you a ton of Fury generation, which made it so much smoother. But 2 gave you that like really OP. Like I think 2 nowadays would be very OP if they like changed the tuning a little bit. Just like being able to spread all your firebrands nonstop, because they spread every second now instead of 2 seconds. That was like one of the big changes they made.
Oh shit.
This patch. Yeah. So like imagine just being able to spread your brands crazy quick, and your Sigil of Flame actually do crazy damage now. Like, you know, there's that talent that increases your fire damage dealt to targets with firebrand. So if you're just like having perma brands on all these targets and they're getting absolutely dunked by Sigil of Flame, that'd be insane. So I'm kind of leaning towards season 2, but season 3 is also great. That's like the weird part. Season 3, you're just like crapping out souls nonstop, especially in large AoE. What do you think?
I feel like the Sigil of Flame owning in season 2 would feel a lot worse without the CDR from season 3's 4-piece.
Yeah, I actually like season 2's better than season 3. So the thing I don't like about it is I don't like the restrictiveness that it adds to the bottom of the talent tree. But even that, people did do. Like, Vengeance has had a lot of different builds that different good players have used. It just like,
dude,
it feels bad to talent out of some of the stuff down there.
You say that, but literally just like earlier today, I was streaming and I pugged a 24 Dark Heart fake kit, and there was a Demon Hunter tank in my group that had a fully home cooked build. This guy cooked his own build. Remember how we had this discussion?
Yeah.
How do you see about like people? Dude, that was the first time I was so mind blown, bro. He was playing Sheer, so he wasn't playing Fracture. He had no Hunts or Collective Anguish.
Oh my god.
He had no Spirit Bomb. He had no Illuminated Sigil, so he didn't have, you know, the Sigil talent that's like literally the entire class. He had Ruinous Bulwark, and he had Retaliation. It was a completely natty home cooked build. I've never seen a build like this
Did
before.
you time the key?
Yeah, we timed the 24 Dark Heart fake
That's
kit. I mean,
fucking sick.
we kind of had like 20 deaths, and he kind of like inted a lot. He was silencing Sigil mobs that weren't silenced, that didn't have a cast.
That goes hard though.
But yeah, that went so hard because like when I first went to key, I'm like, we're just doing the key, right? And I'm like, wait, this guy doesn't have 2 sigils. What is going on? Because every Demon Hunter has 2 sigils right now, right? But this guy, like, I inspected him, and he just had cheat death, no double sigil, no spirit bomb, no fracture, no hunt. This guy's a legend. He's just
Dude, I feel
enjoying
like-
and having fun with the game.
I feel like that's what happens if you take cheat death, though. You have to drop like so much stuff to get it. Maybe not that much, but like you do have to drop multiple things.
You guys
He
haven't
dropped a lot of things.
You haven't even mentioned
Yeah.
the best Vengeance Team Hunter build, which involves not taking Sigil of Chains, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Currently is the best build, yeah.
Yep.
So you
I'm
guys,
a season 2 voter, yeah.
let's see. Oh, season 3's winning.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
go
mind
season
that. They're
3,
both
yeah,
good.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
mind, yeah. I'll be season 3. You be season.
Would do you guys think that's because they're better in season 3, so the power level overall of the class maybe swaying some of that vote?
I think so. I also think people just enjoyed how it played more, because when they thought about season 2 DH, they're like, oh, I gotta do all this like weird firebrand stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, but I can see why people would opt out of it. I don't blame them for that or anything.
I will go with your go with your choice. What else are we doing here? Okay, we have
Got a boom kit next, right?
not boom. Let's go Guardian actually. I think this is gonna be pretty
sure.
easy though.
Yeah, season 2 is the one that was. So Bear was good in season 2, so we got to be a little bit careful that we're not just saying, oh, season 2 because Bear was good here. But I think the season 2 one is clearly the one. Like, it just increases your EHP by making your max health go way up. I think
Yeah,
that
1 and
one's,
3
like-
is like dumb as hell. So yeah,
Yeah.
I also think it's just 2. I don't think there's like any.
Well,
option
EHP
here. This is
does
probably the
increase
most-
fun. Any class that has buttons that can heal you based on the damage you've taken recently, having more effective health makes those abilities feel a lot better to press and like they have a lot more value. So I don't think it's like just a nothing statement because it was powerful.
The big thing about season 2 is also like it felt good because of the rage generation. That was a huge part of it. You being able to press your buttons more. Like remember how when we first talked about Guardian at the beginning of this patch, I was talking about how like it's so lame. Your rage generation feels way worse. You can't raise as often. You're kind of like relying on your procs. And I think the season 2 set lets you actually press your fun buttons.
Yeah, they
Like,
nerfed
keeping up Iron Fur
nerfed
and
the rage gen tier piece, or you lost the rage gen at the exact same time that they nerfed your rage gen in general from like Thrash not giving you on a million targets, right? So it was like your incarn uptime just like dropped by half or something.
Right.
So that's just an easy 2, not much to talk about.
Yeah,
I
easy
think
too.
it's like the easiest choice out of any of the specs.
I have, oh my god, I think that's the biggest landslide so far. That's 85% to that is the biggest one so far. Also they
Yeah, they're weird if they do it at once.
I was gonna say, do you have a favorite vengeance set bonus, but I don't think anyone would even remember it. But Guardian, I do have one. HFC had a insane
Man,
multi-strike.
that's like 10 years ago.
Yep. Had an insane multi-strike set, and the way you played Guardian that patch was insane. I was also the best tank in the game at that time. Let's see. Not Moonkin yet. We're gonna end with that. That's the finale. Okay. That's the finale.
All right.
Or do you have one you want to go to next, Dratnos?
How about protection? Either protection.
Okay, prop Paladin.
All right. Okay. I want to vote for season 1 here. I think that season 2 is obviously the worst. That one is just you're doing an extra dot and it's it's like a hot on you, and you got extra procs of Grand Crusade a little bit, but like I hated that set bonus. I thought it was really bad. Season 3 is strong, but it's built into consecration, which I hate. I hate the playstyle of like
nothing.
I hate how much power is indexed into standing in your consecration.
I think everyone hates it.
Yeah, everyone hates that.
I would like to move to season 1, which was a boring set bonus, but at least it isn't either of those other two.
Yeah,
I would say season 1 also fits Paladin. It's like the simp build.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, season 3 is banned. Voting for anything that involves standing in your consecration as a design point is bad. Can't do that. That is not allowed. And then season 1 was just infinitely better than season 2, right? It just wasn't like
right.
Like now that your Avenger Shield doesn't get holy power, right? Like triggering Grand Crusader extra doesn't make your character feel super OP like it would have a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, if they do tune the numbers in season 2, it could be a very potent tier set. It's just it was extremely lackluster.
Yeah.
All right, so we're voting season 1.
Yeah,
I'm
season 3.
Voter, yeah.
Season 3 is the most powerful though. If we had to like actually pick.
That's true. I mean, the damage reduction on it is certainly the most.
But
power
it's just
level,
lame.
That should tell Blizzard more than anything else that even before I even clicked on this, I was expecting season 3 to be number 1 because it's the most powerful, which is like where a lot of these other classes have been like the consensus pick because people can't separate power from like how cool the tier set was or even how powerful the tier set was at the time. But this one's the last one because any prop Paladin player reading standing in consecrate does X, they're just immediately like, I'm so fucking over that. And hopefully Blizzard realizes that for War of the Worlds.
Yep, it's misery.
I don't even remember does anyone remember a really cool prop Paladin set? I don't think tanks remember their sets as much as DPS do. So.
I much of my game time as well was like Shadowlands BFA where there weren't set bonuses. So.
I think the Shadowlands one was pretty cool, wasn't it? I can't remember what exactly it did, but.
I remember it being cool as well.
Yeah, I think it had maybe something to do with like Avenger Shield.
I remember
resets.
you
I don't
played
exactly.
You played Necrolord and it was good with it. So maybe it was something with I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could get holy power from just getting hit or something like that. You basically just got free holy power, which made it felt really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
The other protection.
Okay.
Have you guys played a lot of Pro Warrior this expansion?
I mained it in season
Very
1.
little.
Okay.
And then I've played it a little bit the other seasons as well. I think so. The season 1 set bonus is very boring, very utilitarian. The season 2 set bonus is all about last stand basically, and you get it's got this kind of really weird but also sort of interesting thing where when last stand expires, you then start AoEing off of your shield slams, which is like really strange. But I quite liked it. I thought it was kind of an interesting.
Really?
it added a new dynamic to. So the context that I liked it in was I liked it in easy content. It was a fun thing to like screw around with because it
True,
actually
yeah.
did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it pops off.
Yeah, you'd pop off with it. Like if you're doing like a heroic, like you're doing Assault of the Zakali mythic or something on your warrior, and you could just like time your last stand to be expiring as all the AOE's about to start. You just get to start blasting. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for that one, but I still wouldn't vote for it, I think. And then the season 3 one is this weird like bleed consumption pure damagey one sort of.
I can't imagine people want
giving
season
you.
3.
I mean, it does give you a DR, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this might be another season 1. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's gotta be season 3 because that's the only one with like real defensive value.
Okay.
But the problem with season 2 is it felt like you had to do the opposite. You had to use your defensive as an offensive ability, and you just didn't really gain much from it. Or I mean, it was just like no defensive value in the season 2 one, realistically.
That's fair.
The season 1, the season 1 is kind of boring. I mean, season 3 isn't that exciting either, but I would go with season 3 personally.
Yeah, I mean, both of them do have a damage reduction value built in, right? And obviously the season 3 one is much bigger, but I assume that's the sort of thing that would be changed numerically to be the same. Maybe that's...
That's true, yeah. Like with some tuning, maybe season 1.
I don't know. I mean,
Would
it's
come
definitely a
on.
boring set bonus. I find the season 3 one to be like actively annoying to play, so...
I think they've been trying
okay.
to, through set bonuses or other ways, have been trying to fix Prot Warrior gameplay since BF4 or season 4 BFA, where they like anger management reduced the cooldown of last stand and bolster was played and like just that play style, and then they just absolutely destroyed it at the beginning of Shadowlands. They nerfed that class in the worst way possible, where you nerf the gameplay and not the power level. And then I think they've been just trying to fix it ever since, like kind of with this season 2 bonus where they went back to giving you some of that CDR back, and it just hasn't worked. So this isn't really set bonus related, but I just really wish that class felt like how it played in the end of BFA, because it was just fucking incredible. Just quick shout out.
God, I miss her.
So what am I voting here? You guys got a season 2
I
or
don't know,
3?
man. Up to Dorki.
I'll go with
I
3
abstain.
and Dratnos will go with 1.
Yeah, 3's fine. I can't.
Season
I
3 is
can't
winning.
summon the will to care
I
much.
can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't.
I can't. It's not possible.
Is there another tank? There is, right?
Yeah. There's one more, I think.
Yeah, but one that nobody remembers.
The Brewman.
Oh, the Brewman, yeah.
Okay, hang on. I gotta read some of these.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, season 1 was annoying to play.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I
to keep it up.
remember that.
Yeah, keeping that stack up.
That was so cringe, actually. Hang on. Although maybe with Press the Advantage, it wouldn't be so bad anymore in M+.
I mean, I don't know if you would play press the advantage though, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I remember in Raid, it was so annoying actually. To
Yeah,
maintain
yeah,
this
just keep it.
thing.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
like all right,
I-
let's take
that
a
was my
pile
ult that
here.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what are these bonuses?
Uh,
I'm just reading these for like these all seem so dog shit.
Yeah. I mean, season 3, I guess, is like the most. It feels the best just because like it gives you self healing, which is what Brewmasters always want. They love having self healing, and it's the only one that gives them self healing. So.
Oh,
I'd say
so season 3 is probably gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
season
easy
3 is
season
like
3.
the
Any-
closest to you. Remember Kegs of Heaven or whatever Shadowlands one? That was a
Oh
huge
yeah,
one. That was a
the
banger.
where your keg smash would
Yeah, you just
result in
Keg
death
Smash, you
strike.
just Death Strike.
Yeah.
The more autonomy
Yeah.
a tank gets through any means that brings them closer to being self-sustainable is always going to be the favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's gonna
especially
be
for
season 3.
Brewmaster, like that is the Brewmaster, weak point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they love healing.
Okay, that's all, right?
Do
does
we want to
Boom
proc
come to?
balance with the Dorki the
let's
balance main?
let's proc balance Druid. Yeah.
I
alright.
will say one thing real quick though. For all the mage ones, make sure you guys pick all the worst ones. Pick the worst ones ASAP for mage. I don't know which
got
one's
it.
the worst one. Someone let us know, but pick the worst ones. We can't keep getting away with.
Okay.
Actually, that's probably a mistake because if you pick the worst
No.
ones, then Blizzard's gonna be like, "Oh, they're kind of weak. Let's buff mage again."
Dude,
God
I
damn
feel
it,
like
never
I
mind.
feel like we can't do that because so far, looking at all these votes, it's clear that hasn't happened. Where like people are trying to grief a spec or a class, and I think we should encourage that because I think that was the big worry coming into this. Because like the last time there was community voting, it was just a total meme.
Okay, hang on. Trains are cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Grimrail Depot
Yeah.
was cool. That dungeon was sweet. It was
Oh.
a train. Trains are nifty.
Oh, I'm not even. By the way, I'm not even talking about Grimrail.
Right.
I actually think Grimrail is like hated way more than how bad of a dungeon it was. I'm referring to like the MDI.
Oh, the
affix-
affixes and
the
the
MDI
yeah.
affixes. Yeah.
I mean, that one is people are just voting because they wanted to cause They thought suffering would be entertaining in a MDI broadcast. I guess I don't know.
Like every single class that like is like, oh, let's grief this spec, bro. If that happened to them, they'd be so mad. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I would just probably stay away from that. But I do want to end before going on to balance, just while Dorky's here. I know you've spoken on this previously in the expansion.
Okay.
How do you feel about the potential power swing of tank bonuses, and do you think it's in the right spot, or do you think that they should aim for like a lower level of power so tank viability is not almost purely based on that patch's RNG role of tier sets?
I mean, it's kind of hard because everyone wants tier sets to be gameplay changing, right? Like the whole idea behind the tier sets is to change how it feels from patch to patch, which you would usually involve like, big buffs to certain things. Like, oh, like you have a tier set that just like makes you consecrate massive, or you have like a tier set that makes your dancing rune weapon massive. Because the opposite would be Blood DK, where it's just kind of the same thing for an entire patch or expansion, I should say. I don't think Blood DK has felt any different from the beginning of Dragonflight until now, and I kind of don't like that. But I also don't like how much they influence class balance or tank balance specifically. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah, that's just my thought that I've always had is everyone always talks about tier power bonuses, and they always bring up like, oh, well, my bonus is a 20%. Oh, that's huge. That's like a historically high tier set bonus. But it's really hard to quantify the defensive plus offensive value of like tank ones. And usually when you try to make up a number about your tank's power that's going up, the number is way higher than healers or DPS ever gain. And I just wonder if that's kind of an issue. But okay, last one, balance. Dorky, what do you think? The official balance druid.
I think a lot of people will say season 1 because they remember fondly of how strong boomkins were, but they don't remember that it got nerfed and that tier set's kind of lame. Second season is kind of cool. It's kind of nice, but I'm gonna lean towards season 3 just because Dream State actually feels really good to play around, and it makes the rotation feel so much smoother, which is what I feel like a lot of tier sets should strive for. It makes it so much easier to get into Wrath for your single, or not to Wrath, but Solar for your single target. Because basically, like as a boomkin, if you want to do single target, right, you gotta hard cast 2 Starfires, and having like a slow ass Starfire cast while doing mechanics and stuff is mad annoying. But having Dream State means you just like quickly go into Solar, and it feels really nice. So in terms of like gameplay and all that, I am definitely gonna say season 3.
I will say, like, season 1 was one of the set bonuses that was nerfed so that people would not wear it into season 2. Like, those kind of nerfs in particular, I think, are very likely to get reverted if it gets chosen.
Oh, very true. I think you're right. Like, because they nerfed it after the fact because people were going to, and it wasn't tuned for that patch. And every class gets like different tier set tuning going into the patches because of other power level increases. So when Blizzard is saying things like, oh, don't worry, we'll like update it, they might almost specifically be referring to the things that they nerfed after the fact, so you would stop going back to that old dungeon or raid and farming the tier. So and also, are you saying that you think season 1 right now is more powerful than 3? Like if they were both just put on your gear right now, would season 1 be more powerful? Forget fun?
I have no idea.
Like if they pre-nerf?
Well, pre-nerf, it was like the best tier set in the entire expansion, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was
it
was really good, and I think it was pretty fun. It was free Starfalls and Star Surges, right? Like, I don't know. I didn't play much Boonkin this season, but I played it a little bit that season, and I thought that was a really fun set bonus. But I do see how the season 3 one would be really fun too, and be good for like, M plus agency mobility.
Well, this class might be one of those scenarios where you have to just vote for the most fun and good gameplay thing and hope that they stick to their word and actually balance it, because gameplay matters a lot. Let's see the votes. Let's see where we're at. Season 1 is currently winning by 10% of the vote. It's going to be hard to come over that.
How many of this is people griefing Moonkins and just assuming season 1 is bad and, putting a grief vote in for the Moonkins? That's the question.
All I remember is Goop was in my chat earlier. He's like, screw all the people voting for season 1. They just don't realize how it was OP and it just got nerfed or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Certainly, if they don't unnerf it, it will be a disastrous event for the Moonkins. But that would be kind of funny. So it's kind of a win-win.
I mean, if they unnerf the season 1 bonus, Moonkins are going to be fucking insane.
Probably, yeah. But
so maybe people care. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, you would just say like gameplay is the thing that matters the most, but like very clearly your class's power level
works too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your class's power level determines how much content you can do in the game sometimes.
That is true, yeah.
Very cool. All right, the official Moonkin statement is vote for 3. These season 1 voters are dummies.
Season 1 gang?
I mean, it could be good. We will see. see what Blizzard does with them.
Okay. All right, beautiful. All right, Dorky, get out of here and go do your key.
See you losers.
All right.
See ya.
What the fuck? Okay.
God, I hate that guy.
I hate him too. All right, I'm inviting Publik. Bring him in.
All right, we're doing set bonuses. We're doing a voting guide discussion thing for the set bonuses. What's the lore with Shadow Priest? Which of these bonuses are the spec got reworked like 7 times, right? Is the
At least
would
at
the
least
old ones
8,
even be
9?
good? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they actually like clearly made each season more powerful than the next for us. So like it's really dependent on how they tune this thing, because in Raid, season 3 is just more power. But so if you don't take that into account, which I can link this thing if you're curious, but I think season 2 like centers around shadowy apparitions, and I think a lot of people just like apparitions, so I think that's probably the most popular one. Especially for dungeons, it definitely has the most like max AoE potential, but in terms of raid, it's definitely kind of on the weaker side compared to season 3. So, and then season 1's just pretty lame and pretty boring, so I don't think people will probably pick that.
I wonder how many people aren't gonna say that with every every season 1 bonus is just super boring. Was there any like?
I've got a few.
You have
I
a
like.
few season 1s that you
Well,
like?
Yeah.
I
Not
think
for
it,
Shadow,
like,
but
in context, I think they were fine, right? Like, so the season 1 bonus for us basically just gave us like haste. Like we just got like I think 5 or 4% haste for free, which at the time was great because we had like no gear. It was the start of the expansion. But now that we have like secondary stats, you know, everywhere, like we don't really need it as much. Yeah, I don't know how they could bump that up to be relevant. Like that's the thing. Like if they were to have showed us like what they would bump them up to, it'd be a lot easier, I think, to like know what sounds fun. But without seeing that, I think it's hard to vote in context with that, right?
Well, this is really interesting. So I like just randomly shot the vote because you were talking about like how they've each gotten progressively better. But then I clicked season 3 expecting to see that win, and then season 2 is winning by a
Oh no,
landslide.
it's season 2 for sure. Well, it's
Even though
the thing is
this is more powerful.
Everyone's like probably voting for when Shadow is the most fun too, and a lot of people are like, well, season 2 Shadow was just really broken, so I want that again. But they've nerfed the spec and they nerfed effectively the set bonus so many times since then. It's gonna need some love to come back in that state. Yeah, it's a little bit of rose-colored glasses, I think, because people are kind of dobby on the current set because it's a playstyle that not a whole lot of people, I think they're just tired of it, and they don't want to play it anymore. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that's a really good point that like people vote for how good the spec was when that set bonus was current,
exactly.
rather than like the set bonus itself.
So you're saying if it was up to you, you would like change the mind of all the Shadow Priests and you would swap this vote around.
Well, actually, personally, I don't like the poll at all, and I would love to have both. Like, I want season 2 in keys and season 3 in raids. Personally.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, I would blindly pick season 2 and just hope that Blizzard tunes it up to be more fun. But that's a bit.
Yeah,
of a
I mean,
we'll
they
see.
did literally say that they will do that, but
I hope.
I
yeah.
I think I'm with everyone where that's like a.
This is going to be their first balancing action since Bobby Kotick was fired, so it's a big test of whether that's going to change things around these parts.
Yeah, because Bobby Kotick famously was very involved with.
That's true.
with
I mean,
sure.
he,
bonuses.
he was always hands-on with these sorts of things, and I think he was the reason that Shadow had all these problems over the years. So
He had a days since Shadow's been reworked sign in his
yeah.
office. It's like, oh, that's getting up there. We gotta bring that down.
He really hated Shadow. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gone
amen.
now.
I think also like we have just been playing season 3 for several months. We're gonna play it for another couple months, and I think personally, I think people just want to play something different. So I think in that sense, season 2 would be what I would suggest, just for going back to a different play style than what we're currently playing. If you're thinking about like the long run, right? Like you're gonna be playing with this for what, 4 or 5 months at least. So
yeah, I think it makes sense as well to go a little bit in the M+ direction for this season as well, because like
for sure.
I at least am gonna care a lot more about the M+ next season than the raids probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's an actual real Mythic Plus season,
Right,
and it's
a fake raid season.
a fake raid season. Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
even if you were a raid guy, it's just like, why would you even care? Not to mention, if they do affixes again, AoE builds in raid are actually relevant, right?
True.
Like single target fights become AoE fights, so. Who knows? It could make Mythic Plus stuff even better. I have a weird question for you. So like, would you? So you said you would like to like choose, and I think everyone would rather have like some cool thing where you could choose. But if there was like a way for you to mix and match 2 and 4 pieces, you could play 2-piece, 2-piece. You could play multiple 4 pieces potentially. would you actually choose a truly remixed, you can pick whatever 2 and 4 set you want bonus instead of either of the pairs that they give you?
As long as it was focused on experimentation, like so that I'm not like locked into whatever I pick right now for the rest of the season, I think I'd love that. Like, it sounds awesome.
Well, no, like which one would you pick though? Like, or would you change anything? Like, would you play any balanced 2-piece or 4-piece in this rather than the season 2 that you chose?
Yeah, I think you could definitely pick like the season 2 2-piece and the current 2-piece and go 2-piece. Like, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think where would be most fun is just like the builds that would potentially open up, because the current 4 set is pretty not cool. It's not our favorite, but the 2 set on season 3 is just really strong.
Okay.
So I think pairing that with any of the other previous seasons tier would be just a lot of fun. So yeah, I absolutely would love that, especially if they opened it up like you could wear 6-piece, like 4-piece from a previous season and like 2-piece from this season, and just really go wild with it. I think any of those ideas would be great.
Okay, we love to hear that. Thank you for your time, Mr. Publik.
No problem. See you guys.
Yep, see ya. I added him and called him. This is you.
Yo,
Hey.
we're talking about the spec set bonuses.
Yeah.
And you're the hunter guy.
Okay. I am.
Which specs? What's your favorite spec? Hunter spec.
I don't know. Like I love them all equally. You know, they're like my children. So, but we can.
What's
start
your
with
favorite
DM
children?
The hunter ones, except the DH one.
Okay, all right. Let's start with let's start with BM because that's the one everybody's playing this season.
Yeah.
Is that because their set bonus is good, or are season 1 or season 2 set bonuses also good or interesting?
Initially it was because the set bonus was good. It was really, really good in the beginning, and it led to BM being really, really strong early season. It's still really good, but they did nerf the set bonus quite a lot. And now we're no longer running as deep into talents that sort of feed from the set bonus. And because of that, it's not the best set bonus anymore. It's still pretty good, but as far as season 1, 2, or 3 goes, the season 2 one is quite a bit better. Once you run the numbers on like the current paradigm of gear and everything, and sort of a projection to future gear.
Okay. And how about like fun playstyle wise? Is there, because they've said they're going to try and balance them. Now I think it's fair to just assume they're not going to succeed at that and vote like they never said that. But if that was true and they all were balanced to be the same like DPS %, is there one that would be more fun or one that would maybe scale better into AOE or what do you think there?
None of them really have, like, across all set bonus, like 2-piece, 4-piece, across 1, 2, 3, none of them have a major playstyle impact. But as you'll see on the current vote results, season 3 is super popular because it's built around sending out lots of pets, and that's like a cool class fantasy, and I'm definitely like down for that. But numerically, it's inferior, and there's as cool as it is to send a bunch of pets at your targets, it doesn't actually have a playstyle impact. It's very hard to notice that you actually have any of the set bonuses active as you play BM.
Yeah, because it just procs for free.
Yeah, more or less. Like season 2 has CDR on Beast of Wrath. Like, so this is like right now it's maybe a 30-second CDR average. With the season 2 set bonus, it's like a 20-second. Like, is that a playstyle change that you get to press this button like a bit more often? Up to you, I guess.
Okay, so you're a season 2 voter.
Yeah,
you're a season. I have one quick question about BM before we move on, though. Like, so I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, if this tier was, or if this season was truly a remix tier, and you could play any 2-piece from any season together with another 2-piece, or like a 2-1-2 with another 4, would you like craft your own tier piece that would be different than you voting for season 2, and which one would it be? Are
you asking if I could mix and match 2 pieces and 4 pieces?
Correct. Or run 2-piece. Would you rather do that?
Once again, since it's basically all the same in terms of playstyle, I don't think so. I mean, okay, so one that feels a little bit like something could be the season 1 2-piece, which gives Kill Command a 10% chance to reset the cooldown of Barb Shot. And then if you combine that with the 4-piece from season 2, which is a Beast of Wrath cooldown reduction, I guess that is basically as much playstyle feel you can squeeze out of these kind of dry set bonuses.
Yeah, and then maybe like the 4-piece from season 2 and season 3's 2-piece, where like you're getting a reduced thing on Bestial Wrath, and then it's also summoning a Dire Beast kind of thing. Like just something like that could be interesting.
Yeah, in terms of that could be interesting in terms of power. Although like you summoning a Dire Beast has like little to no impact on how it feels. So but it would send a lot of pets at the target, which again is a cool fantasy. It just depends where you draw the line between what's class fantasy, like what sort of conceptually seems right for BM, versus what actually feels good while you're in combat and playing.
Okay, and then I have one more before we move on to MM. What is your favorite BM set bonus of all time?
Oh my god. I don't recall. There was one that was really good back in Blackrock Foundry. I remember it being really awesome, but I don't recall exactly what it does. So that's a bit.
No, that's
I don't
fine.
really
I
recall.
caught you off guard. So you think your favorite time playing a BM Hunter set bonus was Blackrock Foundry then?
I recall it being pretty awesome. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, MM.
All right. So MM is pretty straightforward. Like I agree with the status of the current vote, which is basically season 3. So season 1 was pretty mid, and then season 2 was like one of the worst set bonuses that any spec has ever had, almost. And not only that, it was also very single target focused, like it buffed kill shot, and then even not that much. And then on AoE, it almost did nothing because it was barely even worth running those kill shot talents. So season 2 is just super dead.
I remember, dude, the hunter in my guild was like, it was a DPS downgrade to put on tier for the longest time for him or something.
Yeah, it was. Like, you really needed Giga Eye level to beat out the Season 1 tier. And the Season 1 tier was, it was just okay. It wasn't really, it was just kind of passive, right? It did okay damage. But Season 3 is both, like, fun. It enhances a different kind of playstyle. It's insane on AoE, and it's pretty good on single target as well. So it's just like, please have more Season 3. Like, MM is not well tuned at the moment, but that is not because the set bonus is bad. It's just poorly tuned. Like, MM got like a tuning pass. It could be such a broken AoE spec for Mythic Plus and stuff if hunters could survive anything, of course.
Okay. Wait. So I voted season 3 for Marks, like you asked, but when going back to BM, you said to vote for which one for BM?
Yeah, I'd go for the season 2, but yeah, I know that the vote is
it's
super
getting
heavily
beaten.
favored.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that because I like to change some minds here if you let me.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about that for BM. I should have done that while you were still on it, but so
it's
why
all
do you
good.
think so many people are going for season 3? Is it because of the power?
Yeah, I think, okay, so people are my theory, and I cannot read minds, but I think people are looking at BM, which is this season arguably the best. Well, okay, season 1 it was really, really strong, but that was definitely not because of set bonus. Season 3, it's been quite fun to play. It's been pretty strong in Raid, pretty strong in Mythic Plus and everything. Usually 2 hunters in most of the good comps. So people are thinking that's because of the set bonus. But the main thing that changed going into Season 3 for BM was a huge talent rework on the bottom right side of the tree that gave us a relevant 2-minute cooldown and just in generally enhanced our power so much just from the talent changes. But people are, conflating, they're sort of like getting their correlation and causation mixed up, and they're assuming that the set bonus is the cause of that. The set bonus was great in the beginning, but it has been nerfed. It's still good, but it's not amazing. It is not what's driving BM power at the moment. So I think it's like, if people are voting for Season 3 because they think like that's where the power of the current BM Hunter paradigm is, that's a mistake. It is not from the tier set bonus predominantly, it's from the talent rework.
All right, I linked it in my chat. Let's help save BM, guys, or try as hard as we can, although it looks like at this point it might be fucked, but we'll see.
It might be fucked, and yeah, it is what it is, but I really think, like, at least if you're thinking about character power, I really think you should vote for Season 2. It's also just more gameplay. You don't send as many die beasts out, yes, and it's really cool to send out pets. You get more Beasted Wrath, and that means you can be more flexible with that. It's really, like, it really sucks going into a pack in Mythic Plus without Beasted Wrath now. That basically cannot happen if we were to get the Season 2 set bonus.
All right, the votes are shooting up. It hasn't updated the percentages yet, but it is. We're getting closer. Wait, let me refresh it.
Yeah, Season 2 BM, guys, and the Marksmanship Season 3, please.
Oh, should link the EU one as well if you want votes. You guys can find it. All right, cool. So we looked at BM. MM. Sorry, going back to MM, I know we kind of moved off it quick. Would there be any weird 2 and 4 piece things you would like mix together?
No. Basically no, because like everything from Season 1 and 2 is pretty much passive. There's a little bit of like some kill shot procs you can get with the Season 2 stuff, but it just doesn't synergize with anything from Season 3 at all. And like the 2 and 4 piece bonus from Season 3, they go really well together. I think like you don't want to mess with that. Just keep it like it is in Season 3.
Okay, and
If
then
I was the kid, of course.
And what is your favorite MM bonus of all time?
I mean, it's the most popular one of all set bonus of all time. Maybe I think it's a Hellfire Citadel when aim shot becomes an instant, and you were playing it like BM Hunter, modern BM Hunter, but back then an aim shot hit really hard. And, yeah.
I've never heard a hunter say anything other than HFC's tier set. Yeah. Which makes me think that like it'd be a really interesting maybe talent tree option to have something like that. But
Yeah, but then I think it might become a bit too much like current BM in terms of playstyle. I think like aim shot would just kind of end up feeling like kill command currently does, and suddenly you don't have as much spec variety like in terms of feel. But I mean, it would still be nice, but maybe not the best design choice. I don't know.
Okay, what about survival? Which of these? I remember the season 2 one I quite liked. That one sort of reminded me of Shadowlands late season because I played a little bit of survival in a couple of these patches. I don't know how much you have. It's I mean, I feel like it was better this expansion than the representation ever gave it credit for. Not very many people ever really played it, but
Oh yeah, so I mean that's always the case with survival. Like survival needs it. I mean, I don't know. It needs something even better than Shadowlands Season 3 to make it
yeah.
pop up again. I don't know what survival needs. It's a question for experts, I guess. But well, I guess I should be one of those. But yeah, I mean, I haven't worked it out yet. But yeah, generally the consensus is like survival Season 1 tier set. Season 2 is like completely dead. So what they did going from Season 2 into Season 3 is they basically made the Season 2 set bonus kind of baseline in a sense. And now the Season 2 set bonus is basically doesn't exist. Like it doesn't really do anything. So I think I don't know exactly what you got there. So yeah, so Season 2 is just dead. And as for Season 3, so Season 1, that's kind of down to opinion. They're both pretty good, but most people prefer Season 1, and I think that would be stronger for the spec overall because it leaves survival still pretty reasonable in AoE, but the single target from the Season 1 is really, really strong. Where Season 3 it's a little bit weird in that it sort of turns your AoE-centric build with this Fury of the Eagle into your single target build, and it's a pretty good set bonus. I think like Season 1 is just a little bit better, but I don't think either would be a bad vote. But I think like if you don't know, like okay, so if I was going to recommend to your chat, not all of whom may be playing survival, I think you should probably send your vote at Season 1. I think that would be the push in the best direction. But there are reasonable people who might go for Season 3.
looks like, I mean, yeah, it looks pretty close between Season 1 and Season 3. I think it's the first one we've looked at so far that's gotten a Season 1 vote.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's so crazy about survival is that like they design pretty cool set bonuses. It's a well-designed spec. It has some kind of degenerate stuff going on. Like on the whole, like everyone who plays survival pretty much likes how it plays. Almost no one people who don't play survival, they don't say, oh, it plays like crap. They're just like, I'm a hunter and I'm ranged. And okay, fair enough. But you know, it probably deserves a bit more representation that it's getting currently. Yeah.
So that's so I voted for Season 1, and then again, would there be any weird mix and match tier set bonuses? And then also after that, what is your if there is a favorite survival bonus ever? It would have just been the Legion ones, I guess, and then this. But yeah.
The Shadowlands ones, I assume you mean?
Oh yeah.
I think I mean that's gotta be. I mean, they were a little bit degenerate in the way you just kind of spam bomb. You had to do this fishing stuff, but it's hard to hate on it when it led to survival's only tier of like major relevance in its history since it became melee at least. But I mean, okay, so back in Siege of Orgrimmar, it had the set bonus. Okay, so
yeah.
It was a different spec back then, but you may recall that you had explosive shot back then, which was this rolling dot kind of thing. And the set bonus was essentially just sometimes it doesn't trigger its cooldown. And so like survival gameplay was just like rolling the dice, and it didn't even feel bad at the time. How many explosive shots can you get in a row? I think Devi from Paragon at the time, he logged the highest with 14 explosive shots in a row. That was pretty cool.
Old black era explosive shot survival. That was a goated time in the game for sure.
Definitely.
All right,
but
cool.
in terms of combining now, I'd probably take survival Season 3 2-piece, just because you create these burst windows with Fury of the Eagle, and I kind of like using Fury of the Eagle even in single target. It's just a cool ability. And then combining that with the Season 1 4-piece. Now numbers wise, that may not be, because like the Season 1 2-piece is pretty strong, but it's pretty boring because it's just flat damage.
Yeah.
And then the Season 4 the 4-piece from Season 1, it just kind of amplifies those abilities further. Whereas I think thematically, like if it was all tuned equal, which is what we're assuming here, I think Season 3 2-piece for the burst windows and the Season 1 4-piece for the extra Mongoose bite spam. I think that would be good.
Mongoose. All right, fuck yeah.
Mongoose.
All right, that's all we need. Thank you for your help. We are smarter voters now.
Okay, cool. I see you around. Have a nice evening.
See you, man.
Thank you.
I do have one. I usually call Critcake for Warrior, but he is gonna sleep. So he wrote me all of his responses. So I'm going to put those up on the screen. I'm going to post them to you. And then we're going to use those for our selections. Because Critcake's my guy for Warrior. Let's see for arms. Season 1 set very solid. Single target AoE. Season 2 kind of boring to with passive. Season 3 only one that changes gameplay, include increased sudden death proc. For me, also something to point out: warriors have been like so down bad the whole expansion. That this class needs like they DPS warriors specifically needs one of those like touch up things they've been doing recently. They need one of those before the next expansion comes out for sure.
Yeah, I would say they're the most urgent prio for
Yeah.
the rework. Yeah.
Especially too, because I was looking at this recently, you can kind of see popularity of classes a little bit. That's another thing that's interesting about this. When you look at like the spec bonuses, it's super interesting to see the number of votes, because I think that kind of shows the current overall like popularity of these things. And let's see where Warrior is, right? Arms and Fury together, 4K. That's more. Fury has more than Warlock, right? Like Warlock's a super popular class. Fury has more than like so many. Like Ret beats it. BM Hunter beats it. That's not surprising. It's like the best spec of whatever class is like kind of what you're looking at, and they get beat by like Demon Hunter DPS, Blood DKs, and like they're like the 5th ranked spec as far as like total votes, which is, you know, you can't allow a class that's that popular to be this left behind kind of thing. But he does say between season 1 and season 3, but because season 1 build might allow for Cleave and Bladestorm to come back while also being very good with all their builds on single target and AoE, just a solid all-rounder, I vote season 1. So Critcake's official vote, and for all of our votes for arms. Wait, what is even season 1? What does it even say? They've been so down bad. Wait, was season 1 the one where they had you pressing slam?
It was Mortal Strike and Cleave, damage and crit chance increased, and then their crits increase your damage and crit. So very simple bonus.
Vanilla, yeah. But I mean, yeah, okay. Well, we vote with Critcake, so we're slamming season 1, which is currently losing to 3, which was the other one he was debating between. And then we have Fury. Season 1 fun to play, enjoyed the gameplay. Set was tuned extremely weak, so he's hoping season 1 gets buffed in his thing. Season 2 is pretty fun to play. You stacked a big Bloodthirst. Season 3 is strong for single target and decent for AoE. He votes season 2. This is my favorite set that uses that build. Felt good having cooldowns all the time. Oh yeah, any build where you have cooldowns get reset all the time, there's never a time where that doesn't feel fucking insane. And working towards getting your C's back. Warrior seems very split between season 2 and season 3. Shame we can't have both. Personally don't enjoy the playstyle and long cooldowns of the season 3 build. So he's season 2, but it sounds like from his vote, season 3 is gonna win. Let's see. Yeah, so season 3 slightly ahead for Fury.
Interesting though. It sounds like maybe if season 1 was if it was confirmed to be getting buffed by the appropriate amount, that might actually be the.
What is he said it was pretty fun to play. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, it was execute crit chance and then sudden death proc chance.
Oh wait, that was really cool.
Is greatly increased. Yeah.
This was like the actual most interesting season 1 set,
yeah, imagine if they buffed this up to. I mean, I guess with the amount of haste and stuff we have, maybe the like global bloat with all the free executes would be annoying, but I don't know.
I mean, what could they even do to increase the power though? It wouldn't be the proc rate of the 4 set, because that would just be too transformative. It would basically just be executes chance to critically strike increased by 25% and executes damage increased by X%.
Yeah, so execute crit damage increase, and then season 4 could be like sudden death also increases executes damage by X% or something.
Okay. All right, Critcake, the absolute genius, finishing up Warrior for us. That works.
Neat.
But we are gonna do Windwalker first. Hello.
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 Right.
Tell us about Windwalker.
Just don't vote season 3.
Dude, I hate
not?
season 3 too. I thought I was gonna like it initially, but after I played it for like 2 days, and there's actually too much. This might sound stupid, and I haven't read any discourse about it, but there's literally too much CDR on the 4-piece. Like it feels like shit.
Your rotation's too busy.
Yeah.
It makes Phelan Stomp feel even worse.
Oh yike. Okay,
That
so
is impressive.
season 3 is hard banned. Okay, but what about
Season 2 was nerfed, but it's probably the most gameplay impacting, but some people didn't like it because you had to play Serenity and all that, but I don't know if that's just because of the talent tuning that we had back then, but...
I mean, season 1 is just, again, like most classes, you don't really think about it and it just exists. It makes things do more damage. It's also one of the ones where it made abilities that needed to do more damage all the time. Actually, something that they did recently with Windwalker that I liked is they just buffed Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick instead of just relying on tier sets to constantly prop them up to the correct values, but that's what that set kind of did. I play a lot of Windwalker this expansion. I would actually choose season 2 because at least you like Rising Sun Kick and AoE sometimes, and that's kind of fun. And
Season 1 is like... The 4-piece is nothing. That's the problem with season 1. 4-piece is useless. So... But people like season 1 because they don't want gameplay impacting stuff, because when we had season 3 it was a negative gameplay impact, and season 2 is divisive. People like it or not. So I don't know. I think 1 or 2. It's up to you. Pick one. It is probably the closest vote out of all the classes I've seen.
Oh, is it really? Let me see. Oh yeah, well it's there's one that's 1% closer, but yeah, same difference. Oh, it's the closest between all 3. Wow, people are voting for 3. Why?
I think it's because Windwalker got buffed and it's good. The 2 pieces got buffed like 3 times, so maybe that's why they want.
I mean, it's definitely get like when you press the blackout kick, it feels good. Like that is a lot of damage, but what feels horrible is when your rotation just becomes really. You used a good word, messy. Like when you hit it, it's like the whole flow of Windwalker without the 4-piece is so good with like CDR and how that works. But then this is just too much, and then you just I don't know, feels bad.
Season 3 has like a checkmate situation that happens where if you have like you get a blackout reinforcement proc and then you have a Dance of Chi proc and then like your abilities are off cooldown, you're like, okay, what do I do? I'm gonna waste something. So
and that's one of the worst feelings in all of DPS classes when you're overflowing with resources and you are forced to cap on one or make a theoretically bad decision. You're just forced to. It's like the unholy DK problem forever.
That was kind of the Shadow Priest problem back in season 1 or like after their first rework when they were good, but that was one of the things they cited when they like kneecapped that spec. I don't know, I haven't played enough Windwalker this season to have a super strong opinion though.
Okay.
Well, season 2, if it gets picked, then you could theoretically play Rolling Dragon Punch maybe, so there's that, but I don't know. I like season 2 because it gave you priority cleave and like you just RSK one guy in AoE and you're just still doing AoE damage. It's kind of different. I don't know.
What is your favorite Windwalker bonus ever? Do you have one?
Tomb for sure. The Tomb is 100%.
Okay.
Tomb of Surgers. Because I mean, Antaurus was like they were the most OP, but I don't know if it's because of the tier bonus. I mean, it was good. But...
The Antaurus bonus is where you used Crackling Jade Lightning, right?
No, Antaurus.
Or
was
that was
blackout.
legendary.
Okay.
That was legendary.
Antaurus was the blackout kick, gives you resource and does a bunch of damage.
All right, so Tumor Sargeras, I like that. All right, thank you, Jfunk.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yep, see you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you too, bud.
Yep. All right, we both got it off before we left the call. If anyone was keeping
that's
track,
good.
yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, that was dangerous for a second there.
All right, I'm calling Kalamazi.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, it's Dratnos. Hello.
Yo-ho, Kalamazi, how's it going?
It's going good. What's up, Max? Hey, Dratnos.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey. Do you know what you're tasked with today?
No, not really. I was
Okay,
getting food.
well, Blizzard yesterday had a bunch of people vote on set bonuses, and we just kind of want you to help us guide us in the right direction for which one to vote for, and also if you would like to kind of elaborate on the, not giga elaborate, but like talk about why you would vote for each one and if there's any that are close.
That's cool.
Starting with Affliction.
AF. Okay. Yeah, I voted for season 3, the current set for AF. Like the one in Mirrorsill. The first one, like from S1, was just like a basic like haste proc. If you got like whenever you spent the shard, whenever you generated a shard, like it gave you a chance to like increase your rapture or C damage with a proc, which is fine. It just sort of felt like sort of basic and RNG. It was fine, like not like insane, not terrible. Season 2 was like a reduction to our dots and stuff, but like didn't feel as impactful as S3 does. S3 gives you like a damage increase to your raptures and like seeds basically every half a minute whenever you cast your soul rot dot. So I think like for the damage profile that it brings, S3 is probably the best one. I think that's generally what's been agreed on for AF for the most part. I voted for S3 for AF. I think it's the best in plus and rating and Mythic Plus alike. So
Yeah, I've been playing some AF this season actually. I haven't got my full set bonus yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. It looks fun.
Why are you randomly playing Affliction?
Dude, it looks fun. It's cool, I'm being quirky.
Wait, is that true, Kalamazi? Is Affliction actually fun right now?
Your burst with seed is like insanely high. Like it's really, really high. So it's fun. It sort of lacks in like you have to choose like single target or AoE. It's one that's weird. Like if you don't play this, you lack in single target, but you have good AoE. Like you don't have both. Like Demo
yeah,
does, so.
Tyran weeks have been a struggle for Dratnos I, that is for sure.
I've been watching your vault videos actually. You're playing AF.
I've been playing exclusively AF on that thing.
Oh shit! Well, there you go. All right, nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is crazy. I'm about to ask about Demo, and then I just see that like the difference in text between season 1 and season 2 and season 3 is staggering. There's no other bonus that looks like this.
Yeah, it's. Do you want me to talk about Demo, or do you want to?
Yeah. What do you think?
S1, the 2-piece is actually really strong in S1. A 20% increase to Failstorm and Demon Bolt, which is like solid, but it was pretty basic and bland. People like the instant cast Hog from season 1, but like just
wait, hold up, back up.
Yeah.
So Oh, Hog is a For Hand of Gul'dan. Sorry, I've just never heard someone say that before. That caught me off guard. Yeah, you can keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually I'm gonna swap over to Demo for unrelated reasons.
All right, works. You never heard Hog before? Wait, what? THC put me on that. I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean that sounds like a lot of fun to play with. So I'll try it.
Well, you know, yeah.
No, I have never heard someone say Hog in reference to Hand of Gul'dan before, but it is great. So continue.
That's good. That's one sort of like basic. It was decent, like basic and bland. S2 Aberrus was really good in rating. It synced your Grimoire Felguard to your Tyrant, and it gave you like a huge damage increase whenever you had like your cooldowns active every minute and a half. But you also had like Nether Portal and Pit Lord and Tyrant, and Power Infusion, and Clash Trinket, and Iridius Fragment, and all that stuff that you could just sync together with it, which made it really strong. They nerfed the 2-piece like a few weeks ago to half a second down from 1, which doesn't really sync well anymore. They probably like revert the change if it won. But I think overall, like, that's the better rating bonus, like S2. But I think season 3, the one we have now with like Doom Brands and Demonic Cores, is probably the best overall pick based on like being universally applicable. Better in plus than S2, and like not as good in rating, but at the same time, like a lot of the interactions with S2, like the Aberrus one, what were nerfed. Like Pit Lord is dead, Tyrant is dead. So like it's cool to sync your cooldowns together and stuff, and it's still powerful. But I think currently S3 is the best choice for Demonology, just like as a whole. Demonic Core, Doom Brand stuff. It's good in plus and it's fine at rating. There's like a skill ceiling with it too, like juggling multiple Doom Brands. So I voted for S3 for Demonology.
Okay, it looks like that. I mean, looks like that's winning by a lot. I wonder if that's because this is like the best they've been in a while, for Mythic Plus at least. Also, weirdly enough, the first time you guys are a verse class, I still don't really understand that, but it's I mean, it's anytime verse is your best stat, it's both good and bad, but.
Yeah, so like our 2-piece and 4-piece, like both just deal damage, and so they both scale off a verse. Like the 2-piece, 4-piece scale off a verse. Both our trinkets are on-use damage trinkets, so they both scale off a verse. And we play a staff that also does damage when you use it, which scales off verse. Even in general, like crit and verse aren't terrible for Demonology.
And crucially, like Doom Brand lasts exactly 20 seconds, doesn't scale with haste, right? Doom Fiend cast 5 Doom Bolt volleys, doesn't scale with haste, right? Like those are the, I think, huge scaling implications against the stat that usually is so good.
It was mastery last year because you had like the tier bonus affecting like Tyrant and Grimoire and all that stuff, and all your pets were increased, but it's just like basic damage numbers now. Like, it does damage when the dot expires from Doom Brand. So yeah, it's just big crit verse stuff like that. I've tanked mushrooms on Mythic Tindral. Like it's great, man. Like, it's good, man.
Yeah, warlocks are built like houses. But speaking of the kind of neglected warlock spec this expansion, what are your opinions on? Oh my god, I'm reading Channel Demon Fire and Dimensional Rifts. This is looking good. So
the Channel Demon Fire bonus is from Aberrus, and that was not very well received. I think it sort of grew on me a little bit, but it wasn't exceptionally well received and was a pain to play in a lot of settings. Like with movement, I guess your lack of movement and things for a lot of reasons. CDF's a polarizing ability. Some people love it, some people hate it. So there's that. The one from this tier is Dimensional Rift based, which is like, I like Dimensional Rifts, but I don't like the fact that it is an N tier capstone in your class tree. It forces you into playing that as your tier bonus. Like if it's like Channel Demon Fire was an early talent. For Affliction, Vile Taint, and Singularity are early talents for their bonuses in the past. Like Grimoire Felguard is an early talent for Demonology and Aberrus, but this is an N tier N tier capstone you have to take. And even if you're taking that node, it's a choice node between that and something else, and you still didn't take it.
I don't think that matters as much. I'll give you an example.
Well,
so I think it can be the N tier of your class tree. I think it can be intro. I think the only thing that matters when Blizzard makes you like play a certain talent because of a certain build, it just matters if that talent is good and fun, and that's pretty much the end of it. For example, Demon Hunters in their class tree have their set bonus largely revolve around the hunt, and the hunt is in their class tree, and it's a like capstone thing that you have to choose between, but the hunt is fucking awesome, so that's great, right? It would never, but guess what, if the hunt was not great and sucked, then you would be like, oh man, why do I have to spend some you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the issue, I think the fact is Dimensional Rifts is just kind of, I mean, the Warlock class tree just has a lot of problems anyway, but maybe it's that more than anything.
The big issue is you lost a talent point you wanted to put somewhere else in your N tier capstones. Like, you can't play your like purple infernals, the ones that come down every 10 charges, but the ones that stun basically AoE.
The blasphemous, the
blasphemous,
sanguine-weak
right.
scourge.
Yeah, or you can't play 2-minute infernal and plus anymore because you're forced into playing this for your tier bonus. So it changed. I think, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, it changed like the overall enjoyment of the class. You can't play 2-minute infernal or you can't play blasphemy anymore. Or if you do that, you can't take the talent. So you can't play your tier bonus. So that's the spot we're in where it's like you're restricted from playing builds that are generally more exciting to play your tier bonus. So I think it's people's main gripe with it this time around. I think rifts are fun to hit, but in the end, I think it just, so that's people's main gripe with it. I think they're fun to play with, but honestly, like one that I voted for was just season 1.
Yeah,
it's like consuming soul shards give you a chance to give you a crit strike increase, and your crit strikes deal more damage if they crit. Basic destro, honestly. Like,
I'm gonna pick.
I agree.
I'm gonna pick season 1. That's
Yep.
mine.
I did too. So,
I'm just slamming season 1.
yeah. I think if they had moved like Dimensional Rift from the talent tree to a different spot, it's not going in depth or anything. It would be very well received. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So
I think
but it's all right.
I just think as a general thing, if any class is even gravitating towards selecting season 1, I think they were failed with their tier sets in the expansion, because tier sets in season 1 by default were not interesting and supposed to be less powerful. So if you did not get a more interesting or more powerful tier set bonus in season 2 or season 3 to swing these votes, then you kind of just got fucked. That's probably the only way around it.
Yeah,
I think the only exception is like Moonkin, which just randomly procced an interesting season 1 set bonus.
Yeah, and it was also happened to be like fucking insane.
Yeah.
And like, it actually was like the only way their class was playable without it. Like with the new talent trees, like until they fixed it in PTR for season 2, like that class was just horrible without it. Okay, we like that. So Warlocks, easy choices. All right, thank you, Mr. Kalamazi.
Yeah, no problem. Sounds good. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, see you
Later.
GG.
Yo, what's going on?
Hello. We're trying to vote for some tier set bonuses, and I was interested in your opinion on them and also the outlook on the tier bonuses that DPSDK has received this expansion.
Where do you want me to start?
Start with Frost.
All right, so I'll get the spoiler out of the way just right off the bat. My vote's going for season 2. Season 1 tier set was okay, kind of boring. It's just a damage increase, really. Refunding your killing machine procs sometimes was all right, but not like super gameplay changing, not super engaging. It was just all right. Season 2, sending out all those dragons, just getting that buff for your crit damage, it was just good, man. Real good. And then when we go to season 3, the chill streak bonus, it's really, really cool in concept, but right now in practice, it's just not working. I feel like it would need a lot of tweaks to really get there, and I don't think they're willing to put in that much effort to really get it there. So season 2 is what I'm going for.
I'm glad they tried with the season 3 one, because I think there are two things so part of this should be baked in by default. For sure, chill streak by design, it'll never be like the best single target thing, but it should always just have the ability to not be completely useless in single target when it comes to like it bouncing off of itself is insane, right? Like that should be like permanently on the ability, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that was just one thought I had. Like, I like that I hope they keep some of the innovation they did with that bonus for Chill Streak in the future, because Chill Streak is the feeling of Frost DK and being on a 2-target fight when it's been done right. Like, I think the last time it was done right was like Conflict and Strife in BFA, where it gave you Chill Streak. Like, when you were fighting 2 targets and you press that button, it was insane. Like, it did so much damage. And I think
dude.
Yeah, the choice nodes they added to this expansion were really cool. It's just like, obviously the set isn't great. So you voted season 2. Seems like that one's winning in a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty obvious choice. Only thing I'd like to see season 2's set bonus changed a little bit, just bumping up its single target a little bit, because that's kind of where it fell behind. In AoE, it was absolutely insane, though, and that's where a lot of people really like playing Frost DK right now. So,
dude, they should make Syndragosa turn around and hit again if it only hits 1 target. It should reverse course and return to you.
Yeah, minimum 5 times, so it's just like fucking flying.
Like
everywhere.
if it only hits 1 target. If it hits 1 target, it turns around and it gives them the old re-bombing run.
I think the re-bombing run would be interesting, but I also would like it to turn around, come back to you, and then just be half cooldown, or like only be a 1-minute CD, so you can actually use it after that pull.
Dude, that's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, anyways. Going on to Unholy then?
Things that'll never happen. Yeah, on to Unholy.
All right. So Unholy, I've been doing my best to actually keep quiet about this because I don't want to skew people's votes. But since it's for stream, I voted season 3. When it comes to Unholy's tier set, season 1 was actually a very interesting tier set, just concept-wise. Actually having your ghoul engage with your tier set was pretty interesting. Normally, Unholy Death Knight sets are just Dark Transformation or, Death Coil buffs. They're not super interesting, super engaging. And the fact that season 1 changed that up is actually really interesting. While it may have been passive, it was still cool concept-wise. Season 2, on the other hand, though, kind of fell back to that usual Death Coil buff, Dark Transformation thing. It wasn't engaging, didn't really change your playstyle. It was just, hey, you do more damage when Dark Transformation is pressed, which is, it's all right, I guess. Fine. And then season 3, I really like what this set does by subverting your expectations on what an ability does. Like Apocalypse has always been a single target button that you just press. And this set changing it up to be an AoE ability, changing up that perception and actually mechanically changing what it does is super, super cool. And plus the visual effect of maggots just throwing shadow bolts everywhere is just super fun to watch.
I'm actually really sad that Unholy isn't getting... Actually, it probably will in the MDI, but I'm sad it's not getting more visibility this season, because I did like 5 or 10 keys as Unholy on PTR going into this season, and I absolutely loved this tier set. And it also gives you a damage profile where you're popping off an AoE every APOC, which not a lot of classes actually have that kind of damage, and sometimes in like high fortified dungeons twice on a pack. And that just, I don't know why, but that just felt awesome. So I'm a huge fan of this, and this would easily be my choice after using all these.
Yeah, I totally feel you there. It's a real shame that Unholy is so underrepresented in Mythic Plus right now. If it really had like a player base and people to actually get in and play it, it'd be super fun to use this.
Miraz is blasting on it, man. He's putting up the 30s and things on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a player base. I think that it has like some talent issues where like the meta classes are like they could get all their single target and AoE with the same talent build, and like most classes in the game can't. Unholy kind of falls into that category, but certainly does really well. I think just DKs fundamentally are hard to fit into keys because they don't technically have a group buff. What really carries them in raid, being grip, is just super not necessary in Mythic Plus, although it's kind of nice. And AMZ's okay, but like it just doesn't compare to Chaos Brand, Mark of the Wild, all those things, right? And it's just that I think keeps them out of keys, because like I don't think they're like if you go into a key right now with a good Unholy DK, they're gonna do the same overall as pretty much anyone.
Definitely don't disagree there. It's awesome. It just sucks that nobody's playing them,
Yeah. I think it'll probably go up, even though it doesn't really make sense for live keys to change with what people see in MDI, but it always does influence the opinion a little bit. So if Unholy DKs pop off in the MDI, I think you'll see more of them in keys. Plus they're getting a legendary, right?
Probably.
Even though it kind of stinks.
Yeah, that would definitely help if people actually get it with bad luck protections working. Yeah, I mean, if it comes to the season 3 tier set and that wins the vote, I would like to see the Magus cleave increase just a little bit. 4 targets just seems just a little bit too few, but I don't know, just my opinions on it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks for the call, man.
Yep, no problem.
All right, see you later.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Okay, the Ellie guy is going to go to sleep soon, so I'm just going to call him real quick.
Cool.
These are actually going by pretty quick, which is nice. All right.
Yeah, we're going to be able to finish in time.
Yes, we are going to finish. When is your raid? In 45?
An hour and 15.
Oh, that's easy. That's super easy. All right, hello, Mr. Hawkcorrigan. Hello. Sorry, what's up?
Does the mic work this time, or do I still sound like from a weird radio thing?
No, you sound perfectly normal to me.
Sounds good.
What is your Ellie take for set bonuses? I know Ellie's had kind of a weird expansion, but I think they've had somewhat interesting set bonuses, right?
Yeah, let me put it this way. I probably need a lawyer after this.
Wait,
I will
whoa.
be cancelled. The only question is by whom. So, right, I think every time I've been here, I've talked about like the lightning and fire split that Ellie has going on, right?
Yeah.
So either we just put everything into fire spells, what we do in season 3 right now, right? Where every time we press normally an AoE cooldown, but whatever, we get even more lava bursts. We cast more lava bursts. That means we get more of that cooldown, and it's just an endless cycle. We basically do not cast lightning bolt at all, which is kind of weird. And then we have season 2, which revolved more around purely lightning bolt, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, so I see what you mean. So basically, the Ellie Shaman community has people who feel strongly about whether they prefer to play like the lightning build or the fire build, the split you said, and like these set bonuses are basically determining which one of those things you're going to play in season 4.
pretty much.
Okay,
right?
that
'Cause,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Season 3 has the advantage, more or less, that it works, or for Mythic Plus specifically, that it works well in pucks, right? We have good cleave, but we are quite heavily target capped because there isn't a lot of damage in our spenders, even with the 50% Earthquake buff. With the Season 2, it's the opposite. We get 3 Stormkeepers, which can hit up, or like Chain Lightning can hit up to 6 targets, right? And that just generates a lot of Maelstroms, so we get more Earthquakes with the Season 2 build, so that's more uncapped. So the people that run hierarchies that pull more, like the Season 2 a lot more. The people that just do pucks and pull less, like the Season 3 more. And yeah, same thing with the raids, right? Like if we had Season 2 in this raid, we probably would be better with cleave scenarios, and it probably would be better. And other way around, if we had Season 3 in the last tier, then that would also be better. So, very last point, for Season 1, the only thing it did was just give us some mastery on the cast spenders and increase the damage of spenders, right? So that was so neutral that both builds kind of worked. Both were more like neck and neck than it is right now. So yeah, like we will feel the result of ranked choice voting, right? Like if all of the people that can't get their choice between Season 2 and Season 3 would just instead vote for Season 1, everyone would probably be happy. But
dude,
can't really do a lot.
Is it
Interesting.
Is it only Enhance and Ellie in the entire game right now for DPS classes that have 2 completely different playstyles and spells that are incentivized in their spec tree? It's hard. I mean, I'm sure there is, like, you could make a lot of cases for, but it's like literally different elements in both of their trees and completely different playstyles and abilities.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? I personally think reducing the freedom in the talent tree kind of just would force mixed builds. But on the other hand, people obviously want more freedoms in the talent build and just want to pick what they like. But if you do that, they just pick all the compounding talents. So what can you do?
Yeah, you kind of have to. You have to make them both fun. Like in Havoc, for example, there's like mover and no mover to an extent. Like there's 2 versions of moving, but like no move Havoc Demon Hunter is great.
But for Demon Hunter, for example, to my understanding, like I don't play the class a lot, right? But there are like 3 different things that are incentivized, right? Throw glaive, then no clue how the spec actually works, right? But to my understanding, this the tree is just split into 3, and you always pick 2, something like that.
Kinda, yeah,
right?
it's kind of like that, yeah. But I think the more distinct, like the Frost Decay breath versus no breath for Demon Hunter is like whether I want a Fell Rush for movement or not, and there is 2 viable options. The thing is this entire expansion, there hasn't been times where. Actually, I think it was like Season 2 or Season 1 for Enhanced, maybe, where nature and like the physical and Ellie build were like really close, and you could have played both. It was Season 1 or 2. It was definitely one of them where you could have played both. But like the other seasons, it's been like massively in one direction. Maybe it was Season 2. Yeah, and then Ellie, it's been like that too, right? Like except for Season 1, like Season 1, could you have played both?
I mean, most people played Fire just because it was the more popular and also the one that the guides mentioned more, but Lightning was definitely up there. I think the top private logs that I've seen float around were at least equal, even higher.
Dude.
So yeah, both were definitely viable.
I can definitely tell you're playing Ellie this season only because I remember there being a change like a couple weeks ago, and it was like Earthquake buffed by 50%, and then people were like, oh, that doesn't even matter, it's fine. It's like that's like 2%. That's like 2% of your damage in a key. It's like, what the fuck is going on over there? But yeah, so I can already see, so there are a lot of funny things in chat. You can already tell there's like, this seems like when Moonkins were arguing over Venthyr and Nightfey in 9.1, like there's people that like there's a chat just now. Season 3 voters are like babies amused by jingly keys. It's funny as fuck. But like
it's the thing, right? Because we press 80% the same button. I think 60% or 65 is purely lava burst damage in single target or something.
That's pretty. Right, so it doesn't sound great.
Yeah. What can you do?
All right, so which one are you in? Which camp do you fall under?
I mean, I am for Season 3. Honestly, I like simple builds, right? But yeah, I mean, Blizzard will have to give us some attention at some point to fix this somehow.
Okay, so with Season 3, you're making all the jingly keys people happy, but then
yes, basically.
But all the like nature lightning enjoyers are mad, and then also are extra mad because you could have chose Season 1 and you could have played either. I see. So there's like a
probably, yeah.
Damn, it's crazy.
I mean, if I have the numbers correct, right, I think we're still at like 50% season 3 voters, and then you have like no one voting for season 1 because it didn't do anything. But yeah, I don't know.
This has got to be the best class for the argument of like do multiple of them and let people choose, because like, man, there is actually like
oh,
a
exactly,
huge value in
perfect,
this.
yeah, because we were talking before this stream about how the best way Blizzard, the whole season 4 thing, which is why I think last expansion Faded was cool, but in this expansion it really sucks, is like it's like a replacement for a season. It's like what they would do if this was a real season and they were fucking around with shit like this is they would just allow you to play whichever one you wanted or mix and match them. And that seems like Ellie is the person losing the most by having you have to pick one.
The issue there would be that season 3, the tier set is, I think, around 20%. I might be slightly off on that number, right? And season 1 was 10% when it was current content and has been nerfed because we did 2+2 sets in season 2, right? So even if they revert that buff, season 3 is just twice as strong as the others. So if they nerfed season 3 to also be equal to season 1 and season 2 tier sets, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But also we can't mix and match the tier sets anyway because all of them are just compounding. They only work together, in my opinion.
All right, and then we have another Shaman chiming in. Ellie really has no correct answer. You just choose between lightning and fire.
Yeah.
It's super boring. There's almost no choices in our talent tree beyond the element you play. If you want to win in Mythic Plus, you play Season 2. Season 3 is the baby build with one button. Season 1 is just worse for both, so you can play either. We need a rework, not a tier set.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with
Seems
that.
pretty
right?
accurate, yeah. Love baby builds. All right, thanks for the comment, and hopefully you don't get any hate about it. I think you had pretty good takes. Makes sense.
Maybe, let's see.
Yeah,
Right,
we'll
have
see.
a good one.
Yeah, see you, man. All right, which one, based on what he said, are you voting for?
I think so. I'm voting season 3 because the season 2 is just so weird. You don't like not having flame shocks out and not having lava surge procs just feels wrong to me about Ellie. I don't know. Feels abnormal. I enjoyed it a little bit, but it was weird.
I like the lightning build more than my ideal build. If you play Ellie is like nature focused with like a few of the fire cleave talents to where the procs feel good, but also having the further beyond extension. I think that is like, for me, that like has all the things in a spec that I normally like, and I don't think there's any like version of Ellie that currently plays that build, but like I played a little bit of something like that on the PTR beta at the beginning of expansion. It was like super fun. But yeah, that was an older version of Further Beyond, I think. Okay, I'm gonna vote with season 2. I actually am a season 2 enjoyer, but I think it looks like season 3 is gonna win by a lot. Wait, sorry, one more thing about Ellie. Are you an Ice Fury enjoyer?
Oh yeah, I love Ice. I
love it too.
I hated it when I first started playing Ellie. So I started playing Ellie in Unat, and like that I hot swapped onto it for that boss, and I played Primal Elementalist because I liked the shield wall, and also I just liked having less buttons and less complicated stuff. And so initially I just kind of had this like gut negative feeling about Ice Fury, but I played it on Lady Ashvane then, and it was actually so nice to like get all these movement globals, and it felt really good to like have that. It felt like if I was thinking 20 seconds ahead about when I was going to have to move, I could lose 0 damage to move, which was sweet.
Yeah.
This season it's a little bit like now you do this thing where you maintain you maintained a damage buff. At least in season 2, you'd maintain a damage buff by pressing your empowered frost shocks like spread out from each other.
Oh, that sounds
which
awful.
was kind of weird.
Yeah, and any small maintenance buff that I don't like stuff like that. But I think Ellie is super interesting because it has like, it's one of the few classes that has distinct playstyle differences throughout expansions. Like there's been since Sepulcher, I know there was one tier where they like casted an insane amount of lightning bolts and were completely immobile, which is normally something that you think of like Destro locks and like certain specs. And then like I would ask Childrill like how certain bosses would work next season, and he would just be like, oh well, actually I never lose any damage from moving. I'm just like, okay, how can you go from having to hard cast a shitload of lightning bolts to never needing to worry about moving ever? And it's like, okay, so just tier after tier, that class can just be totally fucking different.
Yeah, that's lit. I hope they add a raid buff to that spec and we see it a lot more next expansion.
Hello.
We are here to talk about which set bonus we're gonna pick, and I think this one's probably gonna be obvious, but not positive. What did you think about the tier sets this expansion?
So, like, to get something out of the way right now, like in all of the forum posts and everything, people seem like they're trying to vote based on how it played in each season, and that's not true anymore. Like, the set bonus has nothing to do with how, like, we had talent changes all the way through, so everything has changed. So none of the old season bonuses are gonna like mesh the same way. The talent tree is different structure, so you aren't voting on which era it's going to be. You're voting on what the bonus is. And
Yeah.
me personally, there's only like one answer, and it's 3. Like, I'll stick my heel in the ground and say it is 3.
Yeah, I mean, it seems insane. Like, I thought it would be 3 by a landslide. This is like, when I play this on PTR, this is like one of the most fun tier sets. This might be the single most fun tier set this entire season. So why would,
I think
what
it's
else?
one of the set bonuses like ever of all time.
Yeah, yeah, like
personally.
what? So why are they voted? Wait, 1 second. Are they voting for the Sundering set?
So I think there's people who are voting on 1 and 2, or there's like rumblings around it because they think it's going to make Storm good again. But the problem with Storm,
Oh, I see.
isn't like it fails upwards as a build. It relies on the other build being bad. And like I've spent the whole expansion trying to toe the line between both of them being good. But like the expansion's over now because I prefer Elementalist by a lot, and can't function without the 3 bonus. Taking it away won't make Storm good. Storm's own problems still just exist, and none of the bonuses fix it. The season 1 bonus fixes a problem we don't have anymore because we had a huge resource drought in season 1, and now we don't. The talent tree fixed it. There's basically the 2 set is on the talent tree. The Sundering bonus is cool. It's just not as good as the season 3 one.
I can
Both
kind of read through.
mechanically-
So you played. Here's why I think people are voting for season 2. This is the same issue that Ellie has, where there's like 2 distinct different builds and play styles, and someone might certainly prefer to play the Storm or physical build of Enhance rather than the Ellie one. And in season 2, you could play both builds, and the tier set directly enables you to play both if you want to, and that is more attractive to people than being, because this one basically signs you up for Ellie all the way, right? The current tier set.
The difference between the 2 builds with season 3 isn't it's just big enough that most people don't want to take the hit.
Yeah.
But you can play both of them. The season 2 one, the time that the way that the spec existed in that time is what let both builds work. That bonus doesn't enable Storm any more than it. If anything, it leans to the Elementalist side more. It's just the talent tree didn't work then, it does now. That voting on that won't bring it back. They're like voting for something that won't happen by doing it, even though it is a cool bonus. And honestly, like all of our set bonuses this expansion have been really cool, and they've fixed a lot of problems that were underlying in the spec when they came out. But voting on any of them won't change anything.
I mean, it looks like season 3 is winning by a landslide anyway, but I mean, I would so confidently say that season 3 is the one that people should select. So, I mean,
I think season 3 is gameplay warping. It gives us damage profiles that not only like do we not have normally, almost no other spec has ever had, and it's just really cool. Machine gunning out your big cooldown every 20 seconds, getting extra wolves out. It's just a really cool, fun bonus. The whole rotation flows different, and losing that bonus would suck. And it'll be like the kind of thing that gets campaigned for as a talent more than anything because it's so like.
Yeah, it's
like,
iconic.
A cringe word. It's iconic. It's really
yeah, it's iconic. Yeah, I mean, if this is one of those things where if like it's you hit level 75 next expansion and you lose your current tier set, your class becomes infinitely less fun to play. And anytime that's the case, that should be preserved in some way. Like have a possibility to play it. Okay, so season 3 is the answer. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's like we've had set bonuses like that in the past. Hellfire became baseline after that because without that bonus, the spec was just leaps and bounds worse. So it became baseline forever from then on.
Dude, this is crazy. The way you were.
That's what this is like.
I mean, it makes sense because you are like part of the enhancement community big time. Like, but it's so funny you came on immediately, like clearly wanting to say season 3, but you were defending it. I thought I was gonna see like season 2 and season 1 really close, but I know that that's because you have to like talk to people who strongly disagree with you like all day long, probably.
Like you've seen what Reddit is like, right? They think that everyone's brigading their choice and like being mean and everything, and I'm just.
Oh, I don't ever go on Reddit.
Just gonna
no.
come out
but
for that and say it like this one's cool, it's fun, and I like it, and that's just that really. And you can vote like people can vote whichever one they like, but not voting on 3 is basically voting to be a worse spec.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't ever go on Reddit, but I have heard like people in chat say, like, oh, well, like everyone's just gonna troll. I don't think there's a single example actually of someone being trolled so far, which is actually kind of surprising to me, but it is good. Thank you.
Yeah. All
right. See you, man.
See you.
Love you too.
Oh, he left before you.
Really?
Oh, it's over. Yeah.
Okay, that's not fair though, because like you can have that shit queued up. Like we're not queued up.
Yeah. He.
What's happening? I was told I was getting called in.
Yeah, you're getting called in. We have Hopeful and James on the line here. Dratnos is gonna tell you guys what we need you to do.
Yeah, we're talking about all the set bonuses and which ones are good and which ones we should vote for and which ones are bad. Hopeful, you're in a little bit of an unenviable position where mages have a bit of a target on their back, so you're going to have to decide whether you want to be honest about which spec you want to get voted for, or whether you want to kind of next level people and trick them into voting for the right one for the wrong reasons. So that's a little mini game you get to play. Yeah.
Yep, and then James, same thing. You just have to tell us which one you want, which sets from each class you want to vote for.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
it.
should be perfect because I'm really knowledgeable on.
That's good.
That's
Yep.
good.
That's
it?
That's ideal. Yeah.
That's what we like to hear. All right, let's start with Assassination Rogue. I guess James, you can do this one, and hopefully, if you've got, I know, hopefully, do you play? Rogue
Yeah,
this year?
I played
Yeah.
Sub and Tindril and Ass on Fire.
Okay, so you actually can contribute
I
to
can,
this
yeah, I
discussion
can
as well.
contribute if you want.
But I guess let's start with James for the Rogue ones. Yeah. What's lore with Sin?
Yes. So, all of the tier sets were quite passive, although this season's tier set is kind of fun because you can chain your Envenom and that it does a little pop. So I'm gonna go with season 3.
All right.
Oh, big pop. Let's fucking go.
Well,
Sounds like James really knows. That's
well,
good.
Okay, the truth is I couldn't even remember what the previous tier sets did because they were just so inconsequential. It was just like a passive DPS bonus. But I think in terms of gameplay, like this is the only one where you even play around it at all with chaining the Envenom. So I mean that's kind of, I'll take it.
It's also winning by a like it's definitely gonna win.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. All right. Hopefully, you agree with on the Sin?
Yeah. Chaining the Envenoms was a really fun mini game. I'm reading these season 1 and season 2. It doesn't sound too cool compared to that.
Dude, okay,
All
here's
right.
what I don't get. Before we go on, James has like no knowledge of any of this stuff. Yet Outlaw got like reworked and James was up all night in a Skype call with a like rogue from China that doesn't speak English, and they had a translator just to get into the ins and outs of Outlaw Rogue when it got reworked. Yet you don't know a single thing about Assassination's tier bonuses this expansion.
Okay. That all I couldn't even tell you what season 1 and season 2 Outlaw set bonuses were. I got no idea, but once I read them, I'll remember them. But I just feel like all the tier sets have been really underwhelming. The whole expansion is just like, oh, flat damage bonus. Who knows what's going on? Like this, all 3 sets. This patch you actually play around and interact with. Like in the last patch, I couldn't tell you what the Outlaw bonus was last patch.
All right.
Oh, it was the soul. It was the soul rip. That's okay. Yeah, I mean that was nothing. You
That
didn't
was
change
beans.
anything.
Yeah. That was a historically
Even
beans
Dratnos
set
knows.
bonus. Yeah.
That is good.
All right. What about let's see. Do we want to do we want to swap to some mage ones, or do we want to do sub?
Let's do all of Rogue and then do all of Mage.
All right. That'll be easier for Frank to edit, so that's nice. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
Sub.
For sub, okay. I like this season's tier set by far. It kind of feels. I don't know if you remember when you used to get shadow clones that would proc for extra combo points back in Shadowlands, but it feels really similar to that, where you like they kind of do this echoing damage on some of your finishers. They're called like shadowed finishers, and it hits for a ton of damage. And if you proc one on your rupture, it's like a guaranteed 99th percentile parse. So it's like you're gambling a little bit, you're having fun. But I think season 3 is the funnest for me.
Any takes? Hopeful? Same?
Yeah, no, it was good on my end.
Yeah, you had a lot of
I like season
experience.
3. Yeah, it was annoying because James would do a different rotation than every other rogue. So when I was trying to learn it, it was really annoying. But
what?
No worries on that end.
All good.
Did you have a gourmet rotation?
I don't. Apparently,
It was cooked for sure.
All right.
All right, beautiful. All right, and then finishing it off with Outlaw then.
With Outlaw, it's definitely season 3. So season 1 was just your generator amped your finisher, and your finisher amped your generator, and you didn't change anything. Season 2 was just this flat damage, like an enchant, like Thorn Boots or something. And season 3, you actually change how you roll the bones, and you proc more often. So
Season
I
3
will
across
vote
the
season
board
3.
for Rogue, which is also not
Yep.
surprising because your class got reworked going into Season 3, and then all the new things have a lot more emphasis put on them than every other class. So just another story of if your class gets reworked, it's awesome, and everyone else is bad. Sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
All right, Magus. Where do we even start? Where do you want to start, Hopeful?
I don't mind. We can start with fire. I guess it's probably the most popular. So basically, season 1 is kind of just like the rest of the season 1s. It's kind of just completely passive, not really strong. It's pretty boring. That's basically it. Season 2 is probably the most fun and interactive tier set by a lot, like all the mage tier sets. It like doubles the complexity of the mage rotation, which I thought was really fun. So I'm personally voting for this one. Season 3 is kind of just the same as season 1, except the numbers are bigger and it's tuned higher, and you value stats a little differently. So this like makes you gain crit, while the other ones don't really, like, because you don't really want crit on Fire Mage without this tier set. So a lot of people are saying going into season 4, people are gonna vote for season 3 because it's definitely just way stronger currently, and you get to play around the stats more because you get more of the stats towards the end. But I definitely like the season 2 way more because it adds so much like rotational complexity in it.
So it's rotationally complex, but it's like not a huge damage increase. Is that the problem?
It's not as much as season 3 basically.
How much is it? Like, make up numbers.
It's like 10% for season 2 and 15 for season 3, something like that.
So it's literally, well, let's not use a little, but it's like somewhere around 50%, 50% better. So that's
something like that, yeah.
So it's a power versus fun play, and then it goes back to Blizzard saying, oh, well, don't worry, if you guys pick an old tier set, we'll buff it to be as good as every other tier set, which everyone all responds with a resounding ain't no fucking way.
Oh,
So,
I have complete faith in Blizzard. I'm a hard season 2 voter.
okay. All right, I'll vote with you. See, I mean, wait, what the fuck? Season 2 is winning by a shitload. That's not even. You're fine.
Oh, perfect.
It's winning by a big amount. Okay, it sounded like you.
I didn't think it was when I voted this
sounded
morning.
like you were making a real hot take. But yeah, okay, that easy season 2.
Oh wow, it was way closer this morning.
Yeah. So fire mages are based then. All right, what about frost?
It's kind of like the same thing with all the season 1s. They're all kind of just passive. You don't really think about them all. So it's the same exact thing with frost here. The second one, I mean, it was kind of my big issue with season 2 and season 3, they're just the same tier set, except it changes the button that does the damage. So people are just gonna vote for the one
that they
like more. So everyone's a Glacial Spike fan, so I'm pretty sure everyone's just gonna vote season 3. There's some people are gonna vote season 2, I guess, because if they don't like Glacial Spike, but
I am always I am an anti-Glacial Spike gamer.
Yeah, if you're anti-Glacial Spike, you vote season 2. If you love Glacial Spike, you go season 3, basically.
Wait, which one are you?
Oh, I don't play Frost, but I kind of like Glacial Spike sometimes.
So you would vote season 3 then?
Yeah, I would vote season 3. Bat chesting.
What about you, Dratnos? Are you a spiker or not a spiker?
Oh yeah, I love me a big Glacial Spike. Those things are cool.
All right, James?
Oh, I'm a huge Spike guy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Big season 3.
All right, so
actually,
let's see
some lore for the chat here. I did beat the Frost Mage Tower on my first try.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my
I've got
god!
it. You could say I feel it in my veins.
Kick him.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Arcane. Jesus.
Same thing. Season 1, completely passive. Kind of you just crit more. It's kind of boring. The big issue is just season 2, season 3. I know there's controversy around this because season 2 tier set basically made it so you have more mana regen to play around. So you just had more mana to spend, but you didn't really have more mana to spend. It just shifted where you spent that mana. So in season 2, you could kind of just burn, like you do your just big burn, and then you have mana to spend after it. Season 3, you're kind of forcing the burning before, like you burn mana before your cooldowns. So you just shift where you burn the mana. It's kind of more fun to like do all your big CDs and then burn after. Like your CDs are still like kind of fading. But season 3 tier set actually affects the rotation in a meaningful way. So the goal with the season 3 tier set I'm going to make up is you currently clipped arcane missiles. And then whenever you get this tier set proc, you don't clip it anymore. You want to fully channel it. So it kind of breaks the gameplay loop of blast, blast, missile, blast, blast. So you're not clipping every single missile in a row. Every like third missile you're channeling full time. So it's kind of, the debate is kind of season 3, it's more rotationally fun. Season 2, you shift where you get to spend your mana. So I'm kind of leaning towards season 3 currently because it like changes your rotation in a meaningful way. And season 2, thinking about it, you get like more mana to play with at different times. It still can kind of be fun.
Is there any argument for just season 1 because both of the other 2 seasons do something cringe?
No, season 1 is just completely passive.
Okay.
They would only vote for it if it's OP. The other 2 actually change your rotation. It's not like they change your rotation in a good way. It's just which one's better.
I see.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning towards season 3, but I definitely season 2 is pretty close.
So-
I was debating between them.
It seems like Mage in general would be another, for Frost and Arcane especially, actually, and Fire, like, would be another class where if Blizzard decided to just let you have access to all three and you can pick whichever one you want, would be really, really good for the community.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah, because
Yeah.
season 2 tier set is like AoE isn't affected at all. It does 0% in AoE. While season 3 it does a lot in AoE.
Yeah, so that makes complete sense. All right, so we're season 3 gamers for Arcane, which is also winning in a landslide. So mages, as much as everyone said earlier, vote for season 1 for mages. Mages are not getting griefed. Mages are probably the second most likely class to get griefed. Actually, maybe it's like Augs, then Moonkins, then mages, and no one's getting griefed so far. So, all right, thank you too for your time. Good luck in your 31 or whatever you're doing.
Oh, people are ready. We're done keying.
Oh, you're done keying?
We killed their group, man.
Did we kill your group?
No, they had to raid it.
Yeah,
like,
they had
18
raid.
minutes ago.
Dude, imagine not raiding at 1 p.m. Pacific time. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks. Love you.
Yep, see ya. Wait,
Dude, he got us again.
wait, who did?
Hopeful.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, it was quiet, man, but he got us for sure.
Oh, well, if he whispered it, that doesn't count. All right, I'm calling a Havoc guy.
How's it going?
Hello. We need some help because we're really stupid and we're trying to vote for like what tier sets everyone's supposed to get, and we're just looking for some advice. So we would like your advice on how Havoc should be spending their vote this season.
Okay, well, I'm really stupid too, so maybe a couple
Let's
heads
go.
together. So out of the 3, in my opinion, there's really only one that kind of stands out, not just because of damage, but there's only one that like really has changed the gameplay and added any sort of like fun factor to the rotation, and that's the season 3 one, the one we have now with Throwglaive. The other 2 were just kind of passive, extra damage that you didn't really notice. The season 2 one did have a buff that stacked up to 5, but you didn't really need to track it because it involved I-beam, and you never wanted to hold I-beam because that's just bad. So ultimately, I think the season 3 one is really the only option right now, in my opinion.
I mean, if this wasn't season 3, I would throw a fit. I mean, I'm playing the shit out of Demon Hunter right now. I love the tier set. It's hard for me to imagine like if you just had to throw Glaive Natty, it would just feel so much worse than just having to use it just to not overcap alone. And then Hunt CDR feels incredible. Also, again, I haven't played Demon Hunter in a long time. The idea of pressing the Hunt only every minute and a half would be so sad. So yeah, I mean,
it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, this set absolutely owns, and I don't know if the Havoc community would agree with this, but I feel like this is something that needs to find its way onto some part of their talent tree or part of their class next patch, because I just can't imagine Havoc being a minute and a half, or the Hunt being a minute and a half cooldown, and that's just like an okay thing that feels remotely as good as this.
Yeah, and you're not the only one I've heard say that. Like, I've heard so many people say that they're hoping that this tier set finds its way onto the hero talents or even like the next talent tree in the War Within. The other thing to keep in mind too is if we end up using the other previous tier sets, that means we're probably going to obviously not take the Throwglaive talents, but also we're going to go down into like a Cycle of Hatred and Shattered Destiny build, which is kind of widely just unliked by Havoc players because it's so GCD locked and it's not fun to play. It's very uptime dependent. Whereas right now with Throwglaive, you have a little bit of lenience because you're getting some passive damage from Soul Rend. You don't always have to be right up on the boss. But with Cycle of Hatred, like every GCD counts.
I mean, I was thinking about that a little bit because I played I play No Mover, which like plays those talents on our Naimu, and that made me realize that like that build's like kind of fun in a different way. Like I definitely wouldn't. Throwglaive just feels so natural with the inertia build, but like if you also mixed in some like CDR type stuff to it, I think it could be like kind of fun. I don't know. I just think everything that Demon Hunter has going on right now is sick. It's possible that actually the class tree is a little weird, but I agree big time. Havoc's in a good spot.
Yeah, I'd hate to see it regress. That's the one thing, because it hasn't been like in the greatest spot up until now. So I don't want to see it go back to where it was.
Is it going to gain anything cool next season with like all the old raid items coming back? Are there like any nice trinket synergies that are going to make them like decently better than they are now? Or do you think it's going to stay mostly the same? Like they'll be good, but not like insanely OP?
I mean, if we have access to Puzzle Box again, I think that is going to be a really good one. Grief Torch was really good for us because we have the extra crit damage bonus from Know Your Enemy. So Grief Torch did a lot of damage. Other than that, I haven't really thought about all the different raid trinkets.
I guess
there
it's
was
like
always this
Aeronog
random
Ring, I
one.
guess, is like okay, but it's like
Yeah.
bad stats, you know? So it's like, I don't know if that's, yeah, who knows?
The proc was worth it, and we ended up using that ring for a long time into the next patch. So, but they did nerf it, didn't they?
Wait,
Pretty sure they nerfed it.
you played Puzzy Guzzy as Demon Hunter, or you would play a 3-minute mastery trinket?
Well, you wouldn't do it now, actually, because meta got reduced down to 2
Yeah,
minutes.
that's what I'm
We
saying. Like,
probably
I feel
wouldn't
like
use Puzzle Box.
you'd probably still use the Guzzly, but oh, meta used to be 3 minutes. That's why it made sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
All right, that's all I needed. Thank you for your time, big dog.
Cool. Talk to you later.
Yep. Oh, he's back. Hello.
Yo, what the hell's going on?
We realized.
Yo, tell us about Cat, man.
Yeah, tell us about Cat.
Oh, Cat. Oh,
yeah.
dude.
It's fine. Just make it up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all good,
So season 1 is probably what's gonna be popular. That's so basically it's between 2 choices, right? Season 2 is Dog Water. Season 1 is like M+ login. It's so fucking sick. But I think season 3 feels the best. Like it's what makes the class feel really good to play, and it's the rating spec. It's the rating whatchamacallit, talent tree.
How is season 1 login for Mythic Plus?
Well, because it makes you all your dots do way more damage.
Okay.
It's actually super sick. It's part of what made them so sick in season 1 for 'em.
Okay.
But I swear the season 3 one feels so good. Like it's actually it feels proper.
I mean, season
You know
1's winning
how-
by a lot. Looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it was when they felt the best.
All right, that's all we
Or
needed. Get
M+.
out now.
All right.
All
Have fun,
right, GG.
losers.
What the fuck? Why would he say that?
That's so fucked up, man.
Hello?
Hello? We need help. We're in a dilemma. We need someone to tell us what to pick for devastation and augmentation bonuses.
Okay.
What it is.
Well, Aug set 2 bonus is passive, and set 3 makes the class work, so it's season 3.
Okay, then why are
Alright,
40% of
anything to talk
people voting for season 2?
Genuinely,
You know
people are
why.
briefing.
You know why.
Yeah?
Wait, that's the troll vote? Like
Yeah,
people are doing
100%.
that 100% just to grief Augs? That's insane. Okay, but it seems like season 3 is winning by a lot. All right,
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
then Dev, I think Dev's a little more undecided. I personally think the season 1 bonus is the most fun.
Wait,
I think
really?
Sang agrees. Yeah, you get some passive lust proc every once in a while. Feels good. I mean, season 2 is probably winning because that's when Dev was really strong and people lack reading comprehension. But like, it's
Okay,
a completely
Jesus.
passive bonus. It's very boring.
Oh wait, yeah, wait, why? I heard some people saying season 2 was like super sick, but I'm reading season 2 and it's just fucking piss. Like this doesn't do anything. Like it might.
Dude, season 2 would also keep you in combat after you've released an M+ all the time. Your obsidian shards. I don't think they ever fixed that. It was so annoying.
I think the class just has that bug. I don't think it's related to
Oh, it's
that
not obsidian
tier
shards, it's
set
something else? Oh,
because
God.
Augs have that problem right now.
Oh.
Yeah, they
tragedy.
randomly are stuck in combat. Yeah. So you said season 1. Season 1 is getting shit on by season 2. That's crazy. Why?
Because Dev was really OP in season 2, and that's all people remember.
Was
Like,
this
oh,
bonus?
The class was OP, so it's fun.
Well,
Let's vote for
was
season
the
2.
season 2 bonus like actually a part of that though? Like, was the season 2 bonus really strong? Okay, so maybe
it was like upper end for a tier set.
So
I'd
basically,
say.
what you would be hoping for is that you get the season 1 gameplay. You and Sang think you want season 1 gameplay, but you'd be hoping that Blizzard sticks to their word and actually buffs it to make up for that. Which, I mean, if Blizzard was going to buff any sets like they said they were, they would have to focus on the season 1 ones because they, like, literally from their mouths said they are intentionally not as powerful, so they would have to buff them. Damn, because you'd even get more lust from that. But looks like it doesn't matter. It's getting fucking shit on. So season 2 it
Yeah.
is. All right, fuck yeah. Thanks, bud.
GN.
Yep, GN.
GN, love you.
Oh wow, you hit him with that. He was
I
in the
got him,
call.
yeah, I got
No,
him
he
good.
was in the call chat when he ripped it.
He was leaving as it came out. It was,
Yeah.
It was on the referee would have a tough time adjudicating that one.
Yeah, it was. I saw his icon still. He might have been pressing the button, but he heard it.
Yeah.
All right, shit. We've gotta do. Is it Ret Paladin?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that might be it.
Oh shit, we might have to make this up. Let me see. Judgment. Oh, I remember this. I actually played this a bit in season 2. Wait, season 2 is sick, but I have no idea what the season 3 one does. But season 2 was actually sick. Let's see. Like it was fun. I don't know if it was good. Casting Judgment. Oh, there's so many words. Do you have any idea after reading these words?
Yeah, season 2, man. That one looks good. That was right after they reworked it as well, so it's probably a cool set bonus.
All right, I'm seeing a lot of Ret Paladins saying anything but season 3 is trolling. Season 3 is the only choice. Lamau, nobody wants season 2. Okay, so we're just fucking stupid.
I've always been saying season 3 was the one.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. All right,
Yeah.
so let me throw in a season 3 vote here and just see what that looks like on the thing. Because also, what's right is usually what the most people think. So my opinion would be what the popular opinion would be. Let's see. Okay, so oh my God, wait, it's close as fuck. It's
Oh, wow.
actually 1% different.
So your chat is overhyping.
Yeah,
how,
they're
obvious
overhyping
the
season
call
3 for
is.
sure.
Yeah, hang on.
Maybe this is one of those Ellie Shaman jingly keys situations.
Yeah.
Wait, why would they vote so much for season 2? It might even be okay. So like, Ret Paladin got that bonus, and I remember seeing some numbers from season 2 Mythic Plus where it was like the most played class by far, even though it wasn't meta. Which means that like a ton of like Horde and Alliance flag wielding players like came back to like play WoW, and they did that just to play Ret Paladin, and then that like that's what they remember. They're like, season 2, yes. Oh, PvP players are spamming season 2. Well, there's not too many of those, so I don't think that would make a big difference.
Yeah, the PvP proportion compared to like M+ers is going to be like 10% at most.
Do you think it's 20%?
10% at most.
Oh, 10. I'm just going to totally make this up. I feel like there is like, I don't even know about Mythic Plus versus PvP, but like just PvE versus PvP, it has to be like 10 or 20 to 1 or something. It has to be fucking enormous difference.
Yeah.
But who knows? All right, dude, I think we're done.
All right. Another legendary content. Enjoy editing this. If Frank doesn't get this out in the next like day or two as well, you're gonna lose a lot of views. So make him do it.
Yeah.
Double time, right?
Yeah, because like everyone's thinking about tier right now, but in like a day or two, people won't.
This
be,
is
so-
urgent.
Yeah, it's
he's gotta
very
stay up all
urgent
night, I think.
for him to actually get this done, and he might have to not go to sleep. Yeah, someone needs to stay at his house and jingle some fucking keys right next to him so he doesn't fall asleep.
How long can this go on?
Wait, what was the most like controversial one? I guess it sounded like it was Ellie. Like it sounded like Ellie just has a straight up Venthyr versus Night Fae Moonkin, like I like Storm build or I like Fire build, and it's nowhere in between.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because I mean there were certainly a lot where there was some disagreement, but Ellie seemed the most like 50-50, or like really strong opinions on both sides.
Yeah, most of them were huge landslides, and there was actually no trolling. People tried with Og, bro. That's so funny. Like Og, Goop said that season 3 makes Og's spec work at all. And season 2 is passive garbage, and he's like, and then I look at the vote and I'm like, okay, I'm about to see season 3 at 90%, and it's like, nope, there's a lot of people trying to take down Og.
Yeah, which I mean it's just funny, right? Like the haters, that spec.
Oh yeah, most is Og the most hated spec of all time.
At least among the circles I'm in, yeah. I mean, it's also one of the most loved specs, but it
yeah depends on what.
It certainly
circle
makes
you're in.
people feel things.
Yeah, it makes you feel a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the time, Dratnos.
Yep. Have a GN.
Yeah, GN. Love you. Bye. I left before you could say anything, chat. Holy fuck. That means I win the day.